and why they should be here without trying to ruin the name of another church. No, just sell your candidate, say, okay, me, the reason I'm going with Maraga, or the reason I'm going with Matiang'i, or the reason I'm going with Raila, or the reason I'm going with Gachagua is this and this and this, without darting the other person's name. Ukikuja hapa kujitetea ati wewe utavotia Leol by trying to kuchafua jina ya Justice, it means hata una agenda. You don't have a goal. Just say Leol ni mzuri na hii and this is why I'm going for Leol. Not Leol ni mzuri, Justice ni mwizi. Who said Leol is not a thief? Thank you. That is all I wanted to debunk.
Kowino, I even had to make, this is serious. I even had to make like my kids, okay, like really at a very young age, they even sing in my house it Baba Raila. That's how much I've changed everybody around me. Anyway,
you have asked Kowino to tell you whether he will not vote. If we will not vote for Baba,
if Baba runs, we don't think he's gonna run. But if he runs, if he runs, it's gonna be either the winner or the second.
But to me,
it's never been a winner.
There are chances that Baba might not run. There are chances that
I really don't think he's gonna run.
Baba has been a winner in 2007. Baba was a winner. Unless you are too blind to accept the truth, he won the election.
Won. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
Esco winner was.
Yeah, in 2007 he won the election. Hizo zingine ni arguable, but 2007 he won. Hiyo hata hauwezi doubt.
No, the 2013 is not arguable too, because we did the math the other day. Because the rerun was only beat by 7,481, I think, or 79. So the reason why I've always in the past I've liked Mutunga, but the 2013 whatever Supreme Court, that was the worst thing that we ever did. But
anyway, to be honest, the Supreme Court in 2013. In fact, I've always felt that the election that the Willie Mutunga did not nullify, the case was too strong, even than the one that Maraga nullified.
Even the one that Maraga nullified, we had a better.
Anyway, I'm saying the 2013 Supreme Court case. The court case was stronger than the 2017 NASA case that was still nullified.
Yes.
Yeah. If you followed the proceedings, they had strong evidence in 2013, even more than in 2017.
No, the one that was nullified was NASA. Yes, you're right. So the court one was really strong.
Yes.
The court one was very strong. The 2013 Supreme Court petition, very strong. They had heavy evidence, but Supreme Court ilikuwa mara yake ya kwanza. So we had that trust kwamba Mutunga is going to nullify the election, but he went ahead and saying we have to uphold Uhuru Kenyatta's victory. He upheld the of the IPC.
Yani ukijua vile nilikuwa Mike anataka kuongea. Ukijua vile nilikuwa na confidence hiyo ya 2013. Unajua, alafu nilikuwa na convince watu Kowino, this is funny, before Michael comes in. I used to convince people that, okay, Njoki alisomea pesa za the Odinga Foundation, right? Yani nilikuwa nimejipanga. Hiyo kitu. Anyway, Michael, go ahead. Because mimi nilikuwa nimejipanga. Mutunga was there, was exiled by this. Yani nilikuwa nimeona hii kitu imeruliwa kabisa. Even if we didn't have a serious case, I thought tutakuwa favored. Michael, karibu sana. Thanks for being here. Michael. Aya. Sasa Michael aongee.
Michael ameacha kuongea.
Okay. Wacha Michael kama hataki kusema, wacha mimi niseme kitu nataka kusema first, because I want to do something. And unaona justice when unasema you are always prepared and all that, and that is the reason mimi nikikuja hizi spaces, me I don't say anything to please people. I just say things the way me I see them. It is my opinion, whether you like it or not, it is my opinion. And hakuna hata nikuja hapa nidanganya ati tutaamka 2027 Kenya iko Singapore. I'll be lying that in the next elections things will be sweeter. It might not be. And the reason I'm saying this, if you've been on the losing side for way too long, you understand how politics play. Kama umekuwa, if you've been winning on a daily basis, you never think that you can lose until you lose. So people should be prepared. You can as well lose. Like you can never win on a daily basis that sipiga kura hapa sasa Gen Z ni mingi sijui 18 million votes. Who told you even 18 million voters will register? We are not sure. This is an assumption. So if you've been losing for way too long, like some of us, we've been in this losing side to a point we know we don't have higher hopes like some of you that have always been winning. Some of us tushajua, si tukienda hapa tunajuaga tu we are probably going to lose. In fact, 2022, we had hopes, like we thought done and dusted. For the first time we knew it is.
No, Kowino, I want you to add this to your vocabulary. Useme, we are not like you who have never won or lost. Kuna wengine hapa, we have never even won or lost. So they are...
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, there are people who have never won or lost. They have always just been there. Then there are those ones who have always been winning. Then there's us who have always lost. So, tunajua, we want a better Kenya just like you. But we know one thing. It is not guaranteed the way you think. It is never that easy. Na wakati wa kura ikifika, wacha niwaambie, I can quote these things that William Ruto used to say, to tell us in 2022, and we took them for a joke. Alikuwa anapanda juu ya gari anasema, mimi iko deep state, mimi naibu wa rais, mimi sijui. Wakuje na hiyo deep state. Hata wakitaka wachukue ndugu yake Oburu Odinga waeke chairman IBC, mimi nitawashinda sugu. And we thought, huyu jamaa anatuambia nini bwana? We have deep state bwana. What are you telling us? My friend, when the results started streaming in, ulikuwa unataka Citizen, Raila anaongoza, now that is the TV you are watching. Akipitwa Citizen, you turn to NTV, unapata NTV anaongoza, now that is the one you are watching. You watch the one.
No, please, Kowino, please, don't take us back there, man.
Just wait.
Don't bring it to Thomas. Don't bring it to Thomas.
No.
Wait.
Please,
the reason I'm telling this story, I'm telling this story for people who want change and believe that change will come. That if you don't choose Maraga, they have to cancel you. If you don't choose Matiang'i, they cancel you. I'm just telling them what was there and what we've always seen and how we've learned to accept things the way they are. Ulikuwa unatani sijui 24, yani the station that Baba is leading is the one you watch. Now it came a time he was losing in all stations. Now you turn off your TV and you just start sulking because now you don't know where the country is heading. So some of us, we are so used to this pain, to this losing, that tunajua ikifika wakati election, you don't hold your hope so high. You think sijui the incumbent ama nini. This guy beat us and he was not even hakukuwa in power at that time. Okay, kulikuwa na there are a lot of stories behind that, which I will not tell today. But now he has that system, and people keep saying, we cannot get even 5 million votes. Who told you he cannot get 5 million votes? Who told you he cannot get 5 million votes?
Let me tell you something before you proceed. As you proceed,
yes.
What happened? I've always championed for transparency in the elections. The only time I always wanted us to steal was 2022. I was like, why is Maraga not helping? No. Why is Matiang'i not helping us?
Me too. I was like that. For the first time, I was like, we can also steal. I was like, we can also steal. And let me tell you, people who underestimate Ruto, I'm not saying Ruto is like a political genius and everything, but he knows how politics is done. And that is what has shaped him to who he is today. I can tell you for a fact, if Uhuru Kenyatta did not have the backing of William Ruto in 2013, probably Uhuru would not have made it to presidency. The fact that he's there,
I hope nobody's recording this, Leon. I want to make sure I'm safe. Because I'm about to say something.
It's not recorded.
It's okay.
This is not recorded.
There's a time I almost was like, why can they kidnap Uyu Jamali Chipkat? Why didn't know even why? Like you guys have why you not kidnapping this guy?
Me was not even for kidnap. Me, I was like, just give this guy money, just pump money, just give this guy money. Watangaze. Like, what are you waiting for? You are the president in power.
The other guy had given me a lot of money.
Esco Wino, I used to hear people saying like, oh, Matiang'i yuko saidi ya Raila, sahi kura zitaibiwa, Raila atashinda. Mimi nikaweka hopes mpaka kwa roho.
Kila kitu
Kuna
ilikuwa kwa roho.
wapi? Kidogo hiyo siasa iniue. I can't
Nakwambia
sitaki maneno
mimi
ya siasa.
nilihuzunika. I'm telling you I was sad. Huko kwa kazi mtu akiniongelesha sijui aje namwambia. Mimi it came a time ukiniomba pesa nakwambia si president wenyu ameongeza mpigie simu akutumie pesa.
Hata mimi. Oh, but you know, like I wasn't supposed to leave the country then, but I left because I'm like, we are losing. Hata tangazo sitaki tangazwe, I left. And then my other friends tulikuwa to make campaign now. What happened? I think the guy got fired. His name is he got fired because he refused to go to work. That's how bad it was.
For real, it was bad. It was honestly bad, and this is the reason. Justice. This is the reason. It was just a moment. Then you're the co-host. I cannot speak when you want to speak, and this is the reason I tell people like sometimes Gen Zs come and say, "Oh, we don't care about history." Trust me, history is what shapes us, whether you like it or not. And if we ignore these things that have always happened, and I said it here yesterday, Leol, Justice, you're here, I do. We ignored history and we voted ICC inductees. And that is how we ended up in this shit. Even today, we are complaining because we ignored that. Even William Ruto, he campaigned against the new constitution that you people want him to uphold today. How can he uphold something he campaigned against? So we still want to ignore history so that we vote new people because we hate William Ruto. Now we will end up with another William Ruto who will run down the country again. So we have to be careful. You cannot ignore history and say, no, we don't care. We are not our parents. Those are our parents. They also tried. It's only that hii area sahi kuna social media, kuna Twitter, mnaweza like your grievances, present them everywhere, like mobilization inakuwa easy. But people forget like even multi-party without social media, it still happened. What were the champion for it in the street and it still happened. Like we cannot ignore history. Tusikue ignorant in this fight for change. Change will come only if we are not ignorant of things that have happened in the past. Thank you, Edu.
But if I just want to add something, like you see the last election, like there was something like it was fishy, like how can we lose the BBI in the court? Then something came up, the IEBC officials, those guys, they were kidnapped in the airport and nobody spoke about it. Nobody, including the president, nobody spoke about it. Then we come the election. I don't know, there were some papers were inside, like there were some extra papers. Nobody talk about it. Now we come the election, like sometimes I just like I wasn't surprised.
Me too, I wasn't surprised.
It's still
Me too, I wasn't surprised. Like for me, I've always held the thought, like just like Babu, that me, I've never been surprised that it happened the way it happened. I've never been surprised.
But remember, I know Abdullah wants to come in. Edu, let me tell you, the 2022 court case, we had the weakest. We had the weakest. Like for me, when I looked at the 9 issues that we were going to ask for, I was like, no. Even me, I didn't even have to wait for the arguments. Okay, the math that the Cherera 4 had and the one that Okio Mtata had was the weakest. It was not even adding up, especially for those of you who are math students. It was the worst joke. I was like, why are you even taking this to the Supreme Court? Like, it was the joke of the day. So our case in 2022 was horrible.
Even
Abdullah.
Justice, even apart from our case, I think we just lost the election fair and square. Honestly, I think so.
Yeah, we lost the election.
Do you know, in 2022, we lost the elections fair and square. There is nothing like even real.
Yani,
Esco Wino, we didn't lose the election.
Syria.
We lost.
We lost the elections. We lost the elections.
I made myself a Baba's agent. I went to.
If you honestly do the maths properly,
whatever.
I think we lost the elections.
I did. No, we lost. We lost the election. 2022, we did lose, and we didn't have anything. By the way, I trained even the agents for UDA. I'm the one who trained the UDA agents in Kisii County, and I went to everywhere. I'm like, No, we lost 2022. Oh yeah, that one. I've never even felt bad. I left before the announcement ilikuwa inamekiwa because I was like, what are we doing here? Abdullah, karibu. Thanks. Good to have you here, brother.
Okay, thank you,
You know,
Justice.
me, I can talk. Me, I can talk politics any day, any minute.
I understand you right now. I understand you that, but we are on the same page. You know, politics affects everyone, so we cannot run away from politics in any way. So personally, yesterday there was talks about Gen Zs who voted in 2017 and they were eligible to vote in 2022. I happen to be one of those Gen Zs because I was one of those Gen Zs who were born in 1997. So the thing is, I said it.
Kidogo Abdullah. Abdullah, how old are you now? 28?
What, 1997?
No, ninataka kujua kama ameturn 28.
Hapana.
He was born in
Turning
97. He's 26. Or 27. He's 27. I
26?
think 27. Something.
27, turning 28 in a few months.
Yeah, he's 27.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I'm
turned
the one who
28.
brought that
I
issue.
knew the reason why Leolo was asking.
I'm the one who brought that issue that Gen Z voted in 2022. So I'm interested in what you're gonna say.
Yeah, thank you. So, I would also like to understand why you are interested, but that's another topic for
No.
another.
He just turned 28. He just turned 28.
Oh, so we are
Yeah,
on
that
the same page.
was the whole point. Yeah.
Okay.
But go ahead.
So the thing is, I voted in 2017 and I did vote Ekuru Court. So, and in I think in 2019, there was the Punguza Mizigo. Even when you can check on my timeline, I am a big proponent of the Punguza Mizigo.
It was actually a good document. It was a good constitution.
Yeah, it was actually the blueprint, but it was overturned because the BBI was a political thing. So it was overlooked by the MCAs so that they can bring the BBI. Without, whatever Gen Z said last year, June, was everything that was in Punguza Mizigo. Because Punguza Mizigo was saying that there was no need to have unproductive deputy governors. There was no need to have all these MPs. And it was not actually abolishing all of them. It was saying that we can suspend them. Let us use that money of their salaries. Let us pay some debt. Let us develop our country. And when we reach that moment that we are developed so much, and then we can reinstate it. There was no need of having the women rep. It was making a lot of sense. And I think it is the blueprint to actually pay our loans. Because one thing that I always wonder, we are paying, let's say, Joho. Right now, Joho goes monthly, we pay around 41 million for, let's say, PSS. But let me just go for Joho, one CS. So one CS goes home with around 1.5, everything sorted out. But how much are we getting from that mining docket? We need to have KPIs. You don't need to be paying someone who is unproductive. That is the problem in our country, that we are paying politicians who are unproductive. We are not getting anything from them. Imagine you working in an organization, you are receiving more than you are offered. There's no value of our money in any way. So I think, and the reason why I did not vote in 2022 is that I don't know how IBC did not let Aukuru Court to make it to the ballot, but there was another guy who was making a lot of sense, but I did not vote him. It was Wajakoya. Now, the other thing is, I believe...
Leon voted Wajakoya.
But Wajakoya manifesto was practical. It was practical. To say joke.
I'm gonna jokes. If these are the people I'm going to rely on to change this country.
But it was practical. Do you know why? There's no need of having a manifesto that it is not practical.
In fact, Abdul, one thing I want to agree with is manifestos are useless. People should not even sell us manifestos.
Manifestos are useless.
100%. I agree with you. The mess we are in right now is that we have a president who thinks that he has the best plan ever, but it's not actually. The plan he has is just stealing every time. That is the plan that Mr. President has. The Marshall Plan on industrialization, people keep talking about industrialization. It's something that we need as a country, and politicians know that we need it, but no one is interested in doing it. Like in many years to come, Kenya does not have a problem in housing. I believe that. And if people have a problem in housing, it is people in slums, and you cannot solve that. You have to understand why people live in slums, because someone who is capable of paying 1,500 to live in a slum, then the only way you can solve that person is to increase the salary or to build a new house and give them in the same rates that they used to pay. Right now, we have a president who thinks that we have a problem of housing. Personally, where I come from, I don't have a problem of housing. But that money, if that money, we could have channeled that money to industrialization or import substitution, then we could be developing. But he takes it as something that it is something that does not sit well with me. So for the election in 2022, I participated in that election as an agent for a women rep somewhere that she failed. So I was part of the agent. So I think the current system that is of IBC, provided you have agents, because it allows for agents, observers, and even the public to be around, especially for agents to be around even in times of voting. Also, you will be there, so hakuna paper zenye italeta, utakuwa hapo ikifunguliwa mapema, utakuwa hapo ikifungwa, ikitoka kwa polling station hiyo, the number of voters inaikwa pale kwa mlango, na the public has a right to they need to announce the results of the polling station to the public. Sasa hawawezi change kwa njia. You have the right to follow them, and then sasa muende hapo kwa constituency. Mkienda kwa constituency, hapo ndio form 34, I think form 34B. So if you have active agents, and I think that is where William Ruto got it right. If you have active agents, even in areas that you are there, it is not your stronghold, because that is where the problem is. Where it is not your stronghold, have agents also there.
Kuna kitu moja imenishtua hapa before you proceed, Abdul. Wakati nilipiga kura mara ya kwanza, you were not born?
Yes.
That's serious. This was a serious problem. Did you say you were born in 98? Oh my God. You guys need to send me Sadaka. You need to send me something. Are you serious? Go ahead, proceed. I just calculated that you get many hit that when we were in 97, you were not born. Jeez, this is a joke.
So
go ahead. Sorry. It just hit me.
Yeah, the commissioners have nothing to, unless the state want to use them the same way we heard that there was a general who went to, and some people went to. That is the only way the state can do it. But in terms of if the bomber situation is taken care of, it is very hard to have election being election that is it is completely, you cannot get a fully transparent election, but it is an election that you can plan so well and you can win election, depend if you are in opposition or
no, you can, Abdullah. Okay, wacha nikwambie,
you can win.
I've done 5 elections now in it's called Montgomery County, that's in North America, and we don't need agents. We've never needed agents, and I'm conducting the next one in August and in November. So what we are doing here is just, we are not serious. If people were going to allow ourselves to have a good election, we can have it. But because we are not serious, we're not. You can have.
Yes, the reason why we need agents is that IBC. IBC is part of the state. So if you do not have agents,
I see where you're going with that. Okay.
Yeah, if you do not have agents, then the government can easily compromise the election at the polling station. So I think it was easier to do that, because in Kenya, integrity is a big thing. the government does not have integrity. Even for those people.
Kama ungetuweka mimi na Kowino hapo straight baba angeshinda.
Hata mimi saizi, mimi wacha tu niongee hii ukweli. Mimi saizi ukiniweka election ya 2027 na ni William Ruto ako hapa na mimi ndio na Maraga ako hapa, chances are hata kama atashinda mimi
Maraga atashinda. No.
So you must have your agent.
Yeah, that's what's happening. That's what's happening. So ndio nakwambia, the way we are, for example, where I do the elections, we have to declare both. You have to declare whether you are a Democrat or Republican. So I'm always, a Democrat as it can get. So that tukiwa pale, you don't sit a Democrat and a Republican, we have to sit together. Even kusign paperwork, even when we are taking the paperwork to whatever to the head office in downtown Dayton, we have to go together and you have to sign both. So that's how that thing, it can be done so easily. Just the only problem ni kwamba we will be compromised. Kama watu maskini kama Liola akipewa pesa hata kumbuka kama yeye ni wapati gani, pesa ndio itaongea. That's the problem.
Now the other thing is a lot of the e-ground yenye tunaambiwa in ground and any ground. So we have a certain percentage of voters who just know Raila or know Ruto. So these voters will come to the polling station and just say Raila. So you'll have to vote. Kuna mtu anamwekea kila kitu ya audience. Sasa kama una agents hapo, alafu iangukie tu kwa ule mtu mwingine. That's how things happen. Anyway.
Oh yeah. So kulikuwa na watu ilo polling station ya huko kwetu village kabisa, mahali tulikuwa tunapigia, kulikuwa watu wamejazana. The classroom they were using, it was so packed, congested. I remember buying them everybody lunch because there's no work they were doing. In fact, they were agents. Na unajua tuko na agents peke yao wanajaza hiyo classroom. You guys, when you went to vote, you saw agents ni wengi kuliko wapiga kura in a room. It was so congested. I was like, what are we doing here? Kuna MCA wangapi, blah blah blah, huyu ni wa fulani. So the place was so congested, there was nothing serious happening. Alafu sasa niko hapo tunaenda
ile shida ilitokea, we had many independent candidates were men.
Go ahead.
Yeah, according to me, what I can say is accountability. Like the 2017 election, it was nullified, but nobody took accountability. Why it was nullified? Nobody in the IBC took accountability. Look at the US. The woman who
Siorenga alitudanganya tukakataa kurudia elections. But continue, Edu. Me, I'm so traumatized about this life, ya Kenya. I keep stock of these things. But go ahead, Edu. Yeah, we never. You give an example.
Like in you see, like in the US election, it was the one that Trump won, the Obama win. You see, like there was accountability. The woman who used another person by so that he can log it to the computer and what like so that Obama or Trump to lose, that woman was sentenced to 9 years. That was last year. So like in Kenya, like we should have a commission who will look at the RBC, like who give the logins, who was responsible for this. Like those people need to go to jail so that we can serve as a lesson, so that anybody who thinks like rigging an election should know the consequences.
Mtu mmoja kama Fredi afungwe miaka 20. Alafu ndio.
And mimi nasema there was no accountability. So
yeah, I like the way you're putting it. Yeah.
Kuna kitu nasema that the IPC is part of the system. Kasongo ndiye mrai Chebukati, hata kama ni marehemu, tuseme for example,
kuna mtu anaongea
ameteuliwa. Sasa ameipia Kasongo kura, nani atampeleka jela? Si kuna ile ulinzi tu ya kwamba mimi nimefanya ile kazi yenye ulikuwa umeniahidi, nipe changu yenye nimefanyia job. So kuna ile ulinzi.
Na upatie mke wangu kazi and then we
So
just mambo
yeah,
iendelee.
kuna ile agreement they made. So to me, why I say I've been a ruler for so long. Mimi sijai mteua rais Kenya hii. Niko na hiyo uchungu.
No, I elected 2002.
Yeah, mimi, you elected in 2002. It is good. If you elected in 2002, well and good. 2002 I was in school. Unaona kwenye nilikuwa the station yenye nilikuwa, every polling stations I told you justice for vile walikuwa wanafanya. Unaona kulikuwa na ile kwamba there was no seriousness from the Azimio side. Why I'm saying this way, agents wa UDA or Kenya Kwanza, they were trained several times. They were used to be called calm. Wanaenda mahali. You see, here in Mount Kenya, I live in Thika Town constituency, where we have all tribes. So we have other people who were supporting UDA. You know what? Hawakuwa wanafanya kuwa agents. Muluya, Mjaruo, Mugikisi, Msomali, hakuwa iteuliwa kuwa agent wa UDA. If you were to attempt to say, let me be an agent, unaambiwa be a mobilizer. Wewe kuwa mobilizer, you will earn the same amount that agents watakuwa wana earn. Agents wa UDA hapa kwa mlima walikuwa wa Kikuyu tupu. Kikuyus only. So kulikuwa na ile siri kwamba UDA ilikuwa imekita mizizi hapa kwa mlima. If mtu kama Kowino atusema kama alikuwa na support a UDA candidate mwenye anawania nini gubernatorial ama parliamentary, hakuwa apewe chance ya kukua agent. Finally, kuna kitu waliangalia. It was to figure out the secret what they were doing. And also UDA walikuwa wanalipwa na PayPal. Pesa yao ilikuwa inalipwa tu kwa simu, inakuja na PayPal. Hakuna ati mambo ingine. During the voting day, when we closed the voting process, uniambie ndio watu wa Jubilee ambaye ni governor James Nyoro ndio alikuwa watu wake ndio walikuwa natafuta agents. So ndio waingie ndani waweze kufanya nini? Waweze kuhesabu kura. Sasa ndio nashindwa. Hakukuwa na agent wa papa. So wenye ambao tulikuwa tunapenda sisi papa, lakini tulikuwa tunaangalia. Here in Thika Town constituency, we are many tribes. ODM or Azimio side, mpaka governor, the incumbent wa James Nyoro, hakuwahi kuwa na agents. Kulikuwa na ile sisi tutashinda. Imagine watu wanakuja kuachiliwa saa 12. Ebu kuja muangalie vile kuna tunafanya nini? Just that you can sign it for.
Si hata hivyo, kituo ya nyumbani, Fred, listen to this. Kituo ya nyumbani, what happened? Mtu alikuwa anaitwa wa UDA anaambiwa assign kama yeye ndio agent wa Azimio, because the Azimio didn't have it. So alafu unajua that thing came up in court because it said but your agent signed. We didn't have agents.
Azimio didn't have agents here in Central Kenya. You see, unaona justice for all, returning officers, presiding officers walilala Nyeri. From the mountain wote walilala Nyeri. Walilala kwa ulinzi wa Legate Gachagua. Walikuja saa 9 ndio wanatoka Nyeri. Imagine ya watu wamelala Nyeri na halafu ndio niambie, hiyo ni kitu tunajua. I had that privilege of being near to an MP, to area MP. Area MP, mimi kama contractor kama mjenzi, we had that agreement kwamba if the diaspora people they support yeye kama kuwa MP, kuna zile nafasi sisi tutapewa. We had that negotiating process somewhere where we had the rules, Kisis, Ruyas and the Somalis. So ndio tukakuwa tunajua siri. Mimi nikakuwa naipiwa na wale merchants, tukaambia kwamba kuko hivi na hii. Hiyo ndio kitu ilifanya mimi nikachukia Raila Odinga. Raila Odinga anataka kiti during ile masaa yenye ambao watu wako Bomas, agents wa Ruto watu kama Gladys Point, people like
ukianza kuchukia baba hapa nitakudrop. It's okay. You land and we bring Otieno hapa. Otieno asiongee vibaya kuhusu baba.
When somebody having a different opinion, don't feel bad.
No, it's okay. I'm just joking. Mimi nimeshaumia ya kutosha.
Kenyans used to tell us Ruto ni mwizi, ambayo hiyo msimu walikuwa conductor. The conductor is a thief. Now the conductor has defeated you. We have gone for demonstrations. People have been killed. You are coming now. Let us have what NADCO. Let us form what we call NADCO. We have come with NADCO. You are people, young generation of Kenya have gone to the streets. You have been killed. You are taking that advantage now. You are in government. You used to tell us gharama ya maisha ishuke. And I used to tell us kwamba tunataka sava sifunguliwe. Cha muhimu mimi nilikuwa nataka sava sifunguliwe. Sava simewahi hadi wa leo. Raila Odinga hii ni miaka tatu inaenda
we lost. Hata hiyo sava ikifunguliwa, we lost the election.
Yeah, so that's why I'm saying Raila is an opportunist. Raila was never interested to be a president of the Republic of Kenya. Raila knew I am with the support of my people. They will go to the streets. They will take the government of the
okay. Let's hear from Otieno. Let's hear from Edgar. Freddy, hang in there. Let's hear from Edgar. Otieno. Edgar, karibu. Are you one of the 18 million Gen zote?
Nawasikia vizuri sana.
Karibu.
Niko na hizo
Freddy anasema eti baba hakuwa hajawahi taka kuwa president.
Si ni kweli.
Kiti ni moto na
ni ukweli, ni kama yeye pia ameogopa juu pale watu wanapelekwa mbio. Wewe uone vile Kaonga anapelekwa mbio na huko kuona
Papa Otieno kabisa. Papa niu kwamba mimi nitapelekwa mbio, wacha nipaki na sifa zangu. Akafanya branda kwamba anaenda kumsaidia Ruto. Sasa ndio sisi wa Kenya tumechukia Papa. Angekaa tu kando, tuonyesha Mr. Kasongo sisi hatuna haja na uongo wake. Kama jana anadanganya wananchi kwamba kuna somebody is grabbing public land. Ati hiyo mtu nimeamuru polisi watoke. Polisi wakienda huko kuchunga hiyo shamba, hakuwa anajua. Anasema as from coming Monday. Ati 40,000 ati ataongeza ajira kwa vijana. Mturuali sana.
Ile ni PR. Wajinga waliisha. Mimi vile niliona hiyo kitu kwanza nilisema tu pia nadhani watu ni wajinga sana. Ati kitu chenye imekuwa.
Unajua mimi 2027 kama baba anarani, yeye ndio napigia.
Mimi siwezi mpigia, labda wewe ndio utampigia. Eri wewe. Mimi sina time ya kuweza.
Stop interrupt. Wacha Otieno atoe maoni bwana. Wewe ni host.
Me this time siendi West Coast yangu bwana, nimejanjaruka. Tuwezi kuwa tunavotia mtu mwenye ataki. Mimi nakumbuka vizuri 2022. Yani UDA walikuwa na mobilized watu. Hiyo time hata kwa hizi ma colleges ukienda watu walikuwa wana mobilize vijana, walikuwa wana register vijana ma IDs ulikuwa unapata hadi ma MCAs wa Mount Kenya walikuwa wanatoka wanakuja chuo yetu, wanakuja yani wanachukua wana mobilize vijana wao. Wale watu walifanya kazi. They deserve that because they worked for it. Hiyo ni ukweli. They worked for it. Hapo tuambiane tu kweli. Those people were on the grassroots. Hiyo grassroots yenye unasikianga. They made sure that they mobilized the people on the ground. Alafu mimi hata ukiangalia tweet zangu hapa kuna hata hiyo time nilicomplain nikisema nyinyi watu wa kina Junet wako tu sijui nani sijui tutakufunga Ruto tutakufunga wewe uji sijui nini hii imeenda niliuliza hii imeenda nyinyi mko kwa gari kila time lakini hamna watu wenye ana mobilizea wanawafanyia mobilization kwa ground. Hakuna angalia tweet zako
Unakuta Juneti anasema hii imeenda. Huyu mtu kwanza anamchukia sana huyo Juneti.
Hao ndio mafraudsters, ndio wanataka kuchanganya Raila sahihi, wanadanganya Raila simame tena. Juu wamejua without Raila they will never get votes again. Actually they are the kind of the people wenye they have benefited from him so much. Until this time they are so afraid. They are afraid that if he fail to vie, nobody is going to listen to them. And they lied to him. All along they have been lying to him. Ati imeenda wapi? Imeenda na kwa grassroots hamna watu. Mimi nilikuwa nashangaa bro, niko chuo naona yani every Sunday. Hiyo time ndo niliona hadi watu kama gavana mwingine anatoka Mount Kenya. Alikuja hadi chuo yetu. Ilikuwa Sunday. Vijana wao watu wa mlima wakachukua vijana, wakaita watu, wakamobilize watu wengi sana. Wakaenda walifanya mobilization. Ilikuanga tu every weekend lazima uone kuna leader mwenye amekuja. Na every day walikuwa wanatembea kwa hiyo shule, yani wanatembea, wanamobilize vijana, wanaregister vijana na UDA. They did everything. So mi hata hiyo time watu walikuwa wanasema sijui mmeibiwa, hakuna kuibiwa bro. Wale watu walifanya kazi tena sana. I saw it and I'm a witness of it. Bro, kama unataka kupata kitu, you have to work for it. Ndio maana mi na insist vijana wachukue ID na voting card, vijana wachukue. Hii mambo ya kuongea sana pia
wapigie Matiang'i ama Maraga
wapigie Matiang'i. Mimi Matiang'i pia siwezi mpigia kura. Hapo nao naambia tu kweli. Huyo jamaa kitu chenye I don't like people who disobey the constitution. I want person who obey the law. Hapo ndio tunakosana na wewe. Hapo nikianza kusema tu mambo ya Matiang'i na post tu hivi, hapo ndio huo unaanza kulialia. Wewe wacha kujitesa.
Wewe I'm not for Matiang'i.
Are you sure?
I'm for Baba. I'm for Baba. For real.
Wewe kwa for Baba. Lakini nyinyi mtaanguka na yeye mapema asubuhi.
Matiang'i Freddy ndio mtu wa Matiang'i, sio mimi.
Mimi sasa nasikia watu wengine wanasema sijui Maraga hana pesa, sijui nini. Mi bro, in my constituency 2017 we contributed and voted someone who did not have money. Na alishinda watu ODM. Sikudanganyi, in my constituency.
Lakini huyu arudi ODM because tutamtoa. I know you
ulishinda ODM.
Na yetu ya Wakenya ni kasongo.
So hii mambo yenye watu wanasema hizi pesa watu wenye wanatumia,
and then we can go to Hosea. Yeah.
Okay.
But the answer to 2027. I want you guys to pay attention to where Baba atasema mtaenda saidi gani. Baba is your answer for 2027.
Unaona kama watu kama Juneti wenye wameshinda wakipenda ya Kinambadi wanaogopa. The coming time hata kuwa juu ya magari hata sauti itakuwa imepotea. Watakuwa wanadandia nini?
Okay, Hosea karibu. Hosea wewe kuja hapa na Hosea Otieno maliza and then Hosea akuje na Ruto wake hapa tumsikie.
So mimi kitu chenye wacha niseme ni vijana wachukue voting cards na ID. That is the only thing. That is the weapon which we can use to defeat this government. If we keep on talking and we don't go to those places to take the voting card and identification cards.
No,
then
what ones na ID kwanza.
Alafu mimi watu wenye wananiudhi sana ni wazee wenye wanasema ati Ruto sijui nini. Hii mambo ya conclave nini bwana? Kwani tunataka kuchagua pope?
Ni mzee.
Pope alishachaguliwa mambo.
Yeye anataka akiongea mambo na kwa na
unataka taza sisi wazee.
Huyu mzee na amechapa kabisa. Wajua niliambiwa ukikaa
Wazee,
mzee kaa ya mtoto. Sasa tusiblame mzee sana.
okay, Hosea
hiyo
karibu.
hiyo
Hosea karibu.
Okay,
Wacha
okay. Good evening,
tuachane mambo
guys.
ya
Okay.
conflict. Tuachane
You
mambo ya
know,
conflict.
Justice, I want to ask you to give you an answer to your question. You know, Baba is already, anajua amekuwa mzee. He can no longer, hawezi tena hii kazi. Baba is too old. Amekuwa mzee sana. Na hata wezana na hii mambo na campaign. So now Baba what is doing? Anataka kuacha namba akina Wandai right hand. Yaani anajua kesho even if it's out of this out of politics.
Kwani umeanza kukatiwa simu? Ni Kingo. Sorry.
Ananyeshewa
Even-
huko wanani.
Niko kwa njia na
No. No, ilikuwa sauti kelele ilikuwa inatoka kwa Kingo something.
So
Go
I
ahead,
want
Hosea, you did.
so Baba Blanda Baba wants to anataka kuacha watu wake wakiwa in the right hands. So Baba knows very well he will not stand atasimama kwa hii
But only 2 to 3 people are talking in this group.
okay. Now
Nyamaza bwana.
plan ya Baba anataka kuacha watu wake akina nani in the right hands when they are strong enough, when they have been yani wamekuwa well in for the upcoming generation, you know. So Baba, for your answer hiyo Baba kusema atasimama tena is mama tena. It is over for him and he's done.
No, if he's not running,
Yes, he can make decision.
Yeah,
he can
but
make decision. He can make decision.
What he's gonna do
he
is gonna
cannot-
endorse Matiang'i. He's gonna endorse Matiang'i.
You fail. You fail.
He won't.
Matiang'i is in the
Because,
Jubilee.
Yeah,
Matiang'i
Matiang'i.
So now,
and Baba,
okay, maybe of course Matiang'i will be on balance.
Matiang'i and Baba and Uhuru are gonna be on the same side.
Okay, that is okay. That is okay. Now Matiang'i, the role of Matiang'i here is to cover votes, is to divide the votes. Because now Ruto has gained the trust in the Nyanza region. So Ruto, of course,
Hakuna.
Which is this region that we are talking?
Nyanza.
Siulize Otie na ako hapa. Otie na ako hapa.
Let me tell you.
One
Let me
tribe.
tell you.
Otie.
Let me tell you.
Why?
Let me tell you. Ruto has already gained trust in the Nyanza region. That is huko Omabe, huko akina Gladys Wanga, akina all those people, akina huyu jamaa huyu, akina Opio, akina Wandai. So the only people who are remaining akina maybe akina Orengo bado wanasumbua kidogo. You see? So
Akina
now
So
akina Babu achana naye. Babu is just confused element. Huyu jamaa achana naye. That is why even Baba
utashangaa sana.
And
Fredi, wewe utashangaa sana. Utashangaa sana.
let me just tell you. The enemy of Raila Odinga is Babu Wino. Do you know that Baba is not happy when Babu Wino is surprising. He's surprising. Is yani huyu jamaa politics yake is very strong. You see? So Baba doesn't want him to be the kingpin of the Luo people. That's why alimwendosa akaja akamwacha yeye. So by now I'm telling you, Ruto has already gained trust in the Nyanza region. At least huko ataokota mafuts. You'll get some votes.
Lakini unakuanga na ndoto zingine mbaya. Amka.
It is not like the first ile wakati Ruto akupata votes.
Hey, tunataka mtu mmoja aongee. Wacha akimaliza Fredi you answer OC.
Okay, and now let me just tell you about Maraga. Maraga, hawezi kuwa president for this country. Why Kenya? He can't be the president of this country. First of all, Maraga is got a political arena. He has got no political arena. He has to stay in politics for about 10 years to build political arena so that he can be the president of this country. Now, about Matiang'i, yes, Matiang'i might be after Ruto, after 2032. Maybe if I can see, maybe they're trying to coach him for the next so that he can be the president. This country is like shares, friends and family. If you see, maybe now Matiang'i will come and be the strongest opposition leader that will be fighting against Ruto. For him to be the president, so that he becomes consistent in his politics, he will have built a strong political arena, and he can fight for the presidency in 2032, and possibility ya kuwa president iko very high, provided arena yake imekuwa very strong. Kama ataachana na hii politics, sijui anaenda kazi huko majuu. You see, if consistent angeendelea ile wakati ya kuwa consistent, political arena yake ingekuwa vizuri. So politics is about consistency, and when you see Maraga is not consistent in politics. It's just a pricing, and then politics yake itakufia mahali hapo. You see? So now Maraga atakuwa anagawa votes. Maraga will be dividing the votes ya emergency. You see? So high chances ya Maraga kukuwa project. It will not be told by the government that use the project because other exception, but it will be used as a project. Definitely, because Ruto will send his people to fund him. They know the challenge yake is about money. They will fund him. Yes, they make sure that he will not hatakuwa na challenge kwa pesa ya kufanya campaign, so that hiyo ambition yake ya kusema kuwa president, fight for president isianguka, so that I stop, so that to defy the votes agency. Now when you see Martha Karua akisema anataka kuwa president, it's a good thing for Ruto. Ruto will hiyo ni kama Ruto atakuwa amepatika sana, because hiyo vote ya Mount Kenya itakuwa imekuwa divided, na maybe Matiang'i will be there, and Martha Karua atakuwa hapo, maybe again Kalonzo again might fight for the president for this country. So hiyo vote ya Mount Kenya itakuwa divided, na hiyo sijui hiyo Ukambani region itakuwa divided. You see now. So that is how Ruto is going to play his politics, and then Ruto will be the president of this country until 2032 for sure enough. Hii kitu hakuna kupinga wala kufanya nini, because iko the strong political arena. Political arena. Iko the system.
I have a
nyamaza na hiyo kutoa.
Kwa hii maisha
Walisema ni
Let me
Freddy.
just
That is what I'm telling you.
okay. Freddy, you can go on. I just had two questions. Freddy, you can go on.
You can hear the report. Yes. I wonder when somebody says Ruto has gained trust to some part of the country. Wakenya wamechanuka. What was he supposed to know is what is making Ruto unpopular is, remember 2017 Ruto and Uhuru waliwania urais 2013 na wakashinda. Wakawa kuna ile macha ya Jubilee ya TNA na URP. Wamefanya kazi 2017, wameingia awamu ya pili. Watu wamesambaratika. Hii kusambaratika ni nini ilifanya Wakenya wakakosa imani na Uhuru Kenyatta? During Uhuru Kenyatta time, Kenya, there was a drought, there was high cost of living. Na ujue nini ilikuwa imeaffect sisi kimataifa, sio hapa Kenya tu, it was global. At that end, there was drought. You see, we are with drought. We have with this what we call COVID-19. So vitu zikawa zimepanda bei, gharama ya maisha iko juu. Ruto on the other hand akasema kwamba Uhuru aliendea handshake. Hii kuendea handshake ndio imefanya mambo imekuwa ngumu. Uhuru Kenyatta time kulikuwa kunakosekana hadi mafuta. So Ruto akawa amekimbizwa kutoka kwa serikali, wa Kenya gharama ya maisha iko juu. They came now Kenyans came Peter with Uhuru Kenyatta na Raila Odinga. Ni nyinyi mmefanya gharama ya maisha iko juu. Ruto akawa na insight wa Kenya, amewaambia mimi nikiingia I will create job opportunities for these people. Akawa na akienda mahali anawaambia we had this what we call P4 agenda. Hii P4 agenda ilikuwa ni tutafute ajira kwa vijana, gharama ya maisha iweze kushuka, lakini Uhuru naye ameona kwa wale watu milioni 7 wenye tulimpigia kura, ameona ameendea kitandawili, ndio unaona mambo imetukalia hivi. kawaida Mugikuyu na Mjaruo talistatu watu iko rivalry. Mugikuyu alitufiri kwamba wewe Uhuru umetusaliti. You told us kwamba Raila ni mwenda wazimu mugoroki. Now you are coming, gharama ya maisha imetusukuma, now you are supporting this person. Ruto penetrated in Mount Kenya so easily. Even though voted for Ruto, when Ruto won, alikuwa ameambia vijana kwamba hatuendi kushughulikia katiba, tunaenda kushughulikia ajira kwa vijana. Hatuendi kutafuta vio na mamlaka kwa hao viongozi na hao wadozi, tunaenda kufanya nini? Kushukisha gharama ya maisha. Vile Ruto aliingia kwa bunge, aliingia kwa serikali, fuel levy ilikuwa 8% hadi 16%. Gharama ya maisha ikashuti. Akawaambia hii ni kuunda vitu, mambo itaanza kurudi Kenya ni sisi waje tumpee muda. Kupea mtu nafasi, mambo ikawa ngumu. Ule Raila alikuwa amesema mimi nataka vibrant opposition, I will not allow Raila to come into government. That's why you had people, you had Gachagua saying nitaweka mitego. Raila hatakuja kwa serikali. Raila umekuwa ukisumbua wa Kenya, wewe kaa opposition, angalia vile serikali inafanya nini? Inafanya kazi. Ruto ona alisema hata muita baba, amemuita. Kuna wenye walikuwa na ile trust kwamba hata muita wamekosa imani na Ruto. Kuna wale watu ambao aliambia create ajira kwa vijana, hiyo ajira haijapatikana. Amesema atapunguza ushuru, hiyo tax. Ruto ameenda ameongeza tax, kampuni zimetoroka, wale watu walikuwa wanafanya kazi nao they are unemployed. As they are unemployed, they repeat with William Ruto. William Ruto introduced what we call unaona housing levy. Ameongeza housing levy. Aliambia Wakenya kwamba yeye ni mtu ambaye anaelewa lugha ya mwananchi. Kumbuka akiwa Manga in Nyamira County, he told those people, the residents, kwamba hii serikali inaongeza ushuru usiku na mchana. Hii serikali ambayo ielewi lugha ya mwananchi, mimi ninaelewa nikiingia the first 100 days mimi nitakuwa nimeshukisha kila kitu. So Kenyans had that confidence kwamba Ruto anaelewa lugha ya mwananchi. Kitu ingine, Ruto yeye ameingia kwa mamlaka, amesema hata tafuta vio na mamlaka kwa hao viongozi, ataunda serikali ya mama mboga. Ameleta Musalia Mudavadi, amecreate nafasi ambayo haiko. Ruto amekuja ameweka nini? Ameweka kina Alfred Mutua. You see, Mutua has worked in US, has worked 10 years at Kibaki as a government spokesman, has served Machakos people, Machakos County as a governor. Now, somebody has been in government for 30 years. Now you are bringing that person, unampea kazi. Ameleta watu kama Uparanya, amewapea kazi.
So wait, how is that a problem? All people have brought in watu wenye wana experience.
Ruto told Kenya, it is on public domain. He told Kenyans kwamba mimi sitaleta opposition karibu. Ameleta opposition karibu. Alisema kwamba ni ajira ama ni kucreate opposition kwa mamlaka. Wakenya walimwambia ni ajira. So we have people who knew that Ruto is not going to bring these people around. Serikali ni ya mama mboga, serikali ni ya mwanabodaboda, serikali ni ya ni ya murarahoi. Hizo vitu huwa ndio zinamkula Ruto. Kenyans now we have come to a place we ask ourselves, where did we mess? Mvua ilianza kutuchapia wapi? Mguu ilitopoka wakati
so
Ruto
I want to land so they can bring in either Abdul and Wanda. Yeah, that's here.
Every time mimi nikipeana maoni unanikatisha. I don't know why.
No,
anyway, you can give
actually no, you come back now. You've spoken for 50 minutes. No,
Kenya is not now you are coming to tell me about minutes. Did you tell us about minutes? You have introduced me.
Unajua Osea ako peke yake, kwa hivyo watu wengine wote wako against.
Fred, just calm down, Fred. Just calm down. We'll give you a chance again. Just calm down, please.
No, unaniambia Marisha, you cannot.
Okay, yeah, okay. 1 minute or 2 minutes maybe.
Yeah. So nikimalizia. Can you mute your mic? Osea, I want to tell you, even I've been in Rift Valley. Last month I was in Rift Valley. Nilisikia watu wakiongea kule kwa ground. Hata utajua tu. I'm here in Central Kenya. I have heard what people are saying. Do you know what the Kenyans are after? They want to revenge against Ruto. Even you, Osea, if Kenyan supports you, you will be a president. Kukue na two horses, you will be a president. Now, I would like to urge the opposition to come with a criteria of this way. If people of Mount Kenya now, let them not bring a candidate, let them not bring even a deputy president. People of Mount Kenya, if they were good enough, wangepea na Matiang'i chance ama Kalonzo Musyoka. The two people waende Western, wachukue running mate from Western parts of Kenya. If they choose a running mate from Western part of Kenya, they come from Matiang'i or Kalonzo, Ruto will defeat him squarely very early in the morning. Ruto is not going anywhere. Ni ile tu Ruto ana ile agenda, yani ni ile ana he has lacked what you call criteria and techniques of running a government. He thought a government ni kuongea tu na mdomo na kuenda. If I was to be Ruto, I was to dissolve my cabinet. Ndio nirudishe imani ya Wakenya. Wale watu wake wa karibu wamewaleta, they are looting now the government. There is no circulation of money. If there was circulation of money, if Ruto was to be a man enough, he was to give Kenyans money. Hakuna pesa kwa mifuko. Aliambia Wakenya UDA kazi ni kazi. Kazi ni kazi, pesa mifukoni, hakuna pesa kwa mifuko. Hizo ndio vitu nakuambia Osea. Finally, I'm a what housing. Edu. What he did, amesema amepunguza pay ya unga. The cement, one pound of cement during Uhuru Kenya, it was 450 to 480. I want you also look at the price of cement at now. The price of steel during Uhuru time and during Kasongo time is when you will know people outside here hawafanyi ujenzi. Ile ajira ambayo ana create kwa vijana ati mambo na housing, ile si kazi. A plumber can go and work in a 6 unit for 2 days. Plumber akiwa na watu wake 5, hiyo kazi imeisha. Siku 2 imeisha. Sasa hiyo ni kucreate ajira for sure. So for me, Ruto is not going anywhere. Thank you.
Okay, so let me just
Osea, before you come in, like, can I ask you a question?
You can ask
Yeah. Do you like? I just want to ask Osea a question here.
Edu, after you ask Kosi the question, let's go to Kimbo, Mr. Wanda, and then Osipenda.
Osea, do you know about DNA? Like, do you know anything about DNA?
DNA.
Yeah. What is it according to your terms?
See, I know DNA as ile kufanya for example the blood with the majesty.
No, okay. Let me help you. The DNA I'm talking about is the one Musalia Mudavadi has just launched. Why has Musalia Mudavadi launched another party?
About
yeah.
Okay. Just launched your chama yake because he fears that Ruto might lose the election, so that he will be on the safe side. Yeah, ataenda bila chama, ataenda hata ile mahali ataenda
Teddy, can you wait for you to finish, then you can open your mic, please.
So
you have a minute to answer, and then we can have Kingo and Mr. Wanda.
Edu, hiyo chama nani alilaunch secretly, huyo Musalia Mudavadi, and he launched because he fears that maybe Ruto might face the election. So now maybe if Ruto fails the election, he may end up having nothing, like having nothing yana any ana chama, so ataki kukaa huko, ataki kuenda kutangatanga. So that's why yeye alienda akalaunch, so he fears the fear that Ruto might lose election. That is what nani alikuwa anaogopa.
Osea, which politics do you read? Can I teach you politics today? And you
Okay,
pay
you
me
can teach me
something.
politics. You can teach me politics.
Musalia Mudavadi is the Ruto's running mate in 2027, and that's how Ruto wins, hands down. If you have never sat down to see how that math works, Musalia
I
Mudavadi
don't.
is
Where is
deputizing
the
William Ruto, and do you know how they are going to win?
that is according to your perspective?
The same way they won in 2007. That is the math.
Do you,
So
do
can
you
you
know
bet how much?
this
How much
time
do you want
round?
to bet? 100 shillings.
Do you know this time round Ruto is not campaigning? He's just playing
Okay,
political game.
Hosi and Justice. Let's have
One
Kingo,
campaign
Wanda, and then we can come back to Hosi. Hosi kwa sababu
Wanda
kazi
kukosa
yake ni
Sibora sasa
kuniaibisha.
nimwambie sasa.
Hosi, you will come after Mr. Wanda.
Sibora sasa, I wanted to tell you this
It is my turn to speak.
guy can go for one.
Hello?
Kingo, go ahead. But Ruto is winning 2027 with a running mate called Musalia Mudavadi. What do you say?
We wacha uenda wasimu we Justice for wacha Kinga ongea bwana.
Pedi ngoja Kingo aongea, you will speak. Kingo,
Mwambie
Mr. Wanda,
Justice
and then if
anyamaze
you
Kinga.
want to talk, if you want to engage, if you want to ask a question, you have to raise up your hand.
Okay, I've been listening here for 1 hour, but 2 to 3 people are dominating the stage, and it has turned to be a question and answer context. But the first problem I've realized that the headline here is 18 million Gen Zote votes. I just think that we can't put all the groups, whether Gen Z, Gen X, Gen Alpha, into one hole. Then we want them to grow, because so many people, some different groups will require different fertilizers to grow, and that is why we are having people here supporting Maraga. Some are against him, some are for Raila, some are against Ruto. But since I started being in these spaces, the topic is always pure, because for me, I can't with this age and experience and the little level of education I have, and the way I see things happening in Kenya, I can't stand here supporting a regime or supporting an MP or an MCA that is making a decision or debating in the parliament that results to the death of even a young girl like Njoki. And I can't just say that simply happens because someone is coming from another region. For me, I come from Luo Nyanza. So with me, my concern is, I don't care who is going to be the president. What I care is that we just need a change. And if Maraga has presented himself, we can't just rule Maraga out because he does not belong to any political alignment or any dynasty. Nobody knows him. Even some of us even faced KCP and KCC without coming from families that used to produce geniuses, and they passed. They got first class or second class. So we can't just rule somebody out because we think that he's not fit for that job because we have not seen him anywhere. We can't look at someone, an aspirant, from the lens of other people. Even if this guy calling himself Freddy or Wanda, if Wanda tells us that he's going to vie for the presidency, we just need to listen to him. Is Wanda taking us to Canaan, or where is Wanda taking us? We question him, and the way he answers our question, we go with Wanda. Not just, it is like a cult where we know that after electing a president, we know who is the next president. We know who is the next MCA. That way, a country cannot develop, and that way we can also not develop as Kenyans. And then another thing about election, the topic here was very good. Are we sure that we are going to have a credible election? To me, the answer is no. We are not going to have a credible election. because this is Kenya. We have been into this game for a number of times, because we find ourselves youths are the people who are helping politicians to find their way out through the polling station. They have been given money to rig in other leaders. If we can occupy the streets the way it happened, I think we can even occupy even the polling station where we have got only 2 to 3 policemen to man the election. But rigging of election is something that I'm sure of. It will happen, and it is being cooked. And the president is just going to be the next president. If we, not only Gen Z or Alpha, if people who are humanly enough are not careful. Let us become careful, and we know what we are talking about. We don't want to talk about who is going to be the president. We just want this regime to go, because now Raila is talking about conclave. So if there is dialogue, there is conclave, what is the role of MCAs? What is the role of MPs? What is the role of senators? Are they not discussing or dialoguing or having conclaves on our behalf? The only conclave we need as voters is in 2027 in the polling stations. We can't be having MPs that they're working for a given party or a given kingpin instead of working for us. Then when we feel like these people are not working for us, then they want to call us with some commission or with some dialogue or conclave. This won't work, because we must make MPs or governors to work for us. Not that we have just kept them aside. We don't care what they're doing, what they're saying. Then we want to invite ourselves for a conclave. First of all, a conclave is just a meeting where people are being coerced. Why do you take a hope when you are going to do something very genuine in the meeting, that whatever happens is in this room, nobody is allowed to share it outside? That is how popes are being selected or are being elected. We don't know that even people who are in conclave are being paid $1 billion to elect the person we have as pope, or people we have been having as popes. That is what conclave is: secretive meeting. So with me, my plea is, let us not just talk of who is going to be the president or who is not going to be the president. Let us make our leaders answerable. Why should we have a conclave when they are discussing in the parliament almost every day? That is the bottom line. But telling us that we need a conclave, I'm a Raila fan, I'm Ruto fan, I'm so and so fan, that one is not helping Kenya. It is not helping Kenya at all. Because we can't say that at this time, Kalonzo needs to. It is like you are sympathizing with a millionaire. How can you sympathize with a millionaire? And you are poor. Your neighbors are poor. Your region, there is even no tarmac road. And you want to tell us that the same round to achieve Kalonzo, ama the same round to achieve Davadi. You look, whom should we sympathize with if we are genuine with our sympathies? This Kalonzo has been here, I don't know, from the 80s. Mudavadi has been, I don't know from when. What are they still doing? What can Kalonzo achieve for Kenyans, even if we ask ourselves? What can we do for us now? At 80s, at 70? What can, even God removed Moses in the leadership of Israelite when they are nearing Canaan? God even stopped the man because God required them to use their brain as they refer from the leadership of Moses, who was not there. Moses had no role in Canaan, and that's why God made a way with him. So we can't go to Canaan with sympathy from giving Kalonzo a post, giving Wajakoya. What do they lack? People who are surrounded with German Shepherd and perimeter walls. Then we celebrate it. We need just a change for this country to grow. We just need a change. Even the number of people that are getting education from foreign countries, as someone has just mentioned it here, that is how they are doing their voting. But with all that knowledge and experience we have gotten from those foreign countries, when we come here, we forget everything and we just behave according to George Orwell's Shamba la Wanyama. So we can't sympathize. Let us sympathize with people, with Rex Masai. Let us sympathize with Chieni. Let us sympathize with people with the bullets in their body. Don't tell us to sympathize with Kalonzo, to sympathize with Davadi, to sympathize with Raila Odinga. Somebody at it, what can somebody at it do? Someone at it, you still expect him to lead you. Atafanya nini? Let us sympathize with the victim of bad governance. That is my point.
Thank you, Kingo. Mr. Wanda, how are you?
Very fine. Kingo is a genius. Kingo just said you need to ask me questions so that you consider me for presidency soon. So Kingo needs some nyama choma. Now, when I get back to the topic,
Ngoja, umesema Kingo needs nyama choma. Kingo, do you need nyama choma?
yeah.
I know somewhere you can get it, Kingo.
Now we'll talk behind the curtain. Ili justice, your justice siku hizi amekuwa atatusumbua akijua tunaenda wapi hiyo nyama choma tena. Now, when I get back to this, the topic and our politics, I will start by looking into Maraga and an imagination that Maraga has no political history and he will therefore need 10 plus years before a politician, then gets probably elected or such kind of. I want us to read the history of Donald Trump before 2016 when this guy was elected. Donald Trump had zero political history, totally zero. This guy was just a TV personality and doing some business in the real estate. Then he got into politics and he was elected. And therefore, playing politics or mastering politics has nothing to do with your history. I mean, how much or for how many years you've been in politics. It's all about knowing what the people want, mastering the art of politics. When I still into our own politics, what ails us the most is what somebody said, Kenyans enjoy presidency or politics through diffusion. That if Ella is my friend, or if Leol is my friend, or if she's from my community, if she becomes president, I enjoy the presidency through diffusion. There is that feeling, you just feel good that one of our own is a president. That I want, and therefore that's the problem that has been ailing us or hitting us below the belly for so many years, and it has led into another behavior that as well it's not so good because it keeps hurting us the most, and it's the one that makes us go cycles after cycles and not realizing the potentials of our country. And this is because of how we play our politics. We have turned out to be very cunning as citizens, as the electorate, leave alone even the politicians. It has gotten to a point that even in such space meetings, in WhatsApp groups, in other gatherings that we'll have, people attend such meetings with totally different motives or different interests. Therefore, they're not going into the meetings either with a clear mindset of we want to discuss this politics, we want to champion the civic education, we want to go for this cause that will change the history of our country. But we go in with two things: the diffusion, how we enjoy power through diffusion, and the individual benefits. People will look at Adolf Hitler and say Adolf Hitler was a dictator, was a bad leader. But believe me, no, we had people that really enjoyed the leadership of Adolf Hitler. We had people that looked at Idi Amin as a dictator and a very cruel and bad person. But equally, believe me, we have persons that really enjoyed the leadership of Idi Amin because of individual interests. This is what ails our country. I would wish we get to a point where we look into politics by not looking into what you will gain as an individual, but instead you become unempathetic and you become generous enough to address the challenges that are facing the societies and the communities in general. Because if we analyze politics in that sense, then we'll face the reality of what is ailing our communities. We'll approach this politics and make it even so hard for individuals to use corrupt means to get this power. Believe me, no. That I'll assume that it's in Kenya where this statement works so well. Rules and laws are made by human beings to be broken by the same human beings. That one I believe works so well in Kenya. And who facilitates or who makes it possible? It's individuals who believes that when so and so is in power, this is how I'm going to gain. These are individuals who believes that you have been in code for so long, for so many years as a community. And if so and so is therefore in power, we're going to, there is that feeling that we are also in, we are in power. I'm from Western. That is where my umbilical code was buried. Meaning, despite different communities that forms up the Luya as a tribe, Davadi is a Luya, Weta is a Luya. We imagine they were given 30%. I'll tell you, mimi ninapambana peke yangu tu, hata sijui hiyo 30% inamaanisha nini, sijui ilitokea wapi, na sijui hata huwa inafanana aje. Now, but at the same time, I want you to agree with me that we have people who are convinced that we are now in power, and now we have 30% of the government. Whereas they're still struggling with the Tandikanla letter. They're going to, the gas stations, kununua maftata, the kerosene, to go and fuel their Tandikanla letters. Therefore, let us change the history of this country by being realistic. Let us be pragmatic. Let us be sincere with ourselves, because if if we get the real leadership, proper leadership, with people that are empathetic, people that are generous, people that are pragmatic in the sense that they want to see the all-round development of the country, then tutakuwa tupo sawa. But tukiachilia na tucheze politics vile huwa tunacheza, kwamba Justice akiwa president, unajua mi niko na namba ya Justice, naweza mpigia simu anitolee kadil mahali anione vizuri. What about Leo? What about Justo? Or what about Lewin? If you look at politics in that sense, Kenya has quite a lot of potentials, quite enormous. If you look at Kenya in comparison with the rest of Africa, but ni sisi huwa tunalalia uwezo wetu kwa kuruhusu mambo ambayo ukiangalia hayana misingi yoyote. Leo.
Hey, kwani Mr. Wanda ayua Swahili teacher? Kwa sababu hicho Kiswahili
Wakati mwingine huwa nikijidanganya nikibahatisha kidogo.
Oh, by the way, na Fredi pia uanga anazungumza Kiswahili sanifu akitumia viwakilishi, visisitizi, hizo vitu zote. Anyway, continue, Mr. Wanda.
This is how I was landing, or how I've landed. That let us change the history.
I wanted to land with my matrix. Ruto Mudavadi.
Now, this is the matrix of the Ruto Mudavadi politics going forward. It is true that Ruto knows that Mount Kenya votes are gone. That one he knows. And it's true that he knows that if he picks a deputy or his deputy from the mountain region, it can only, it can only work to his disadvantage by losing some votes that probably he would have convinced in a certain quarter. Therefore, it is true, chances are so high that he may opt to go with a candidate, a deputy candidate from Western, not even Nyanza, as people imagine and mention the names of Gladys Wanga. The reason why he will not want to pick a candidate from the Nyanza region in the name of either Gladys Wanga or whatsoever, it automatically means that the non-Luo voters who still believes in Raila and believes he can convince a fraction of the country will equally confirm that Baba is tribal and means nothing so far as their interests are concerned. And therefore, it only leaves that team with one option, going with Mudavadi. And number two, the reason why they will go with him is easy to be moved. He's not one that will get into power, then gives people a lot of a headache. Probably it's either true or it will either backfire the same way Njonjo played their cards with Moi, then mambo yakabadilika. Because it's the same thing, they looked at Moi as a weak link. Let's put him in presidency, then we'll just take over from him. Only that when they tried in 1982, things backfired and the history became a totally different story that never went into their favor. Therefore, it's true that chances are so high Mudavadi might be picked as a candidate. Formation of DAP has nothing to do with that Mudavadi anaogopa kwamba Ruto ataanguka kura. It has totally nothing to do with Ruto kuanguka kura ama Ruto kupita kura. History of Kenyan politics will tell you the
what
history
about
of.
are they? What if they run on ODM?
They will not run on ODM. They will run. ODM running on ODM will, in this case, need that they struggle so much to bring persons like Kalonzo on their side. Because running on ODM,
no, Kalonzo. I was to give you a different option for Kalonzo. I was to do Kalonzo Matiang'i. Kalonzo President Matiang'i running mate.
Matiang'i presidency, Matiang'i Kalonzo presidency will be easy to. It will be easy to defeat that team. Easy to beat it.
Okay.
I don't see the Matiang'i Kalonzo presidency being or standing grounds to defeat the Ruto, Raila, and whatever cards or matrix. Chances are hiyo timu inaweza ikashindwa haraka. So maybe I can only land on this matrix kwamba Mudavadi kuna uwezekano atakuwa running mate wa Ruto kwa sababu Mount Kenya zile kura zimeshapotea. Kwa hivyo kuwa zawadi nafasi kama ya deputy president ni kama tu umewapa zawadi na ukajiharibia zile kura ambazo wangezipata upande mwingine kwa kuwashawishi kwamba tumewapatia deputy, sasa hawatazipata. Therefore it becomes easy and therefore the same thing. Generally, picking Kindiki will not add anything. Totally nothing. It's the same case as generally it will add nothing. Let me land on that one.
No, what last one? Who does
Yes.
Maraga pick?
Sorry?
Who does Maraga pick as the running mate?
Maraga, whom we will pick as a running mate, the mzee has really hidden his cards. Imekuwa ngumu kujua who is this person. It's even hard to tell who are these individuals that are working with Maraga. What I know is that he's not a project. But
I don't think it's a project. But but we know he's working with Agostino Neto. That we know.
So
yes.
It's so hard to tell if he will be working with the Kina Tata team, the Kinasifuna
I
team,
think
the
he
whatever.
declined the other day, and I don't think he was lying. He declined the other day, was asked, and he actually indicated that no, Umtata said they haven't even talked. So I highly doubt he was making up a story.
Of which I'll assume whatever Maraga tells us is actually true. That Mzee has no history of telling lies. So it's so hard to tell for now the team that you'll be working with insofar as politicians and politics is concerned. It's a matter of let us wait and see who will be. I mean, it's a matter of time. So we wait.
That's why I have a problem. Let's hear from Milton. Milton, who is Maraga working with? Milton. Milton. Haya, huyu jamaa amechukua mic na ongea. Maybe you can hear it from Edu.
Acha mwalimu Wanda endelee kuongea Kiswahili sanifu.
No, one is done. Nimemuuliza maswali mengi sana.
Yes, Justice, what's the question? Justice, what's the question, man?
My question is on who does Maraga work with? Who does Maraga work with?
Like for me, like I don't think if that guy will make it because
Edu,
my
a
focus
moment,
not on
please.
that man for sure.
Edu, a moment. Justice, do you always ask about Maraga because you're against him?
And again, Justice. And again,
The
Justice.
reason is Edu mute kidogo Edu because I think your mic is gonna feedback. Yeah, the reason as why I ask about Maraga all the time is that you guys have him as your favorite, but you can give me a path to his win. So, like, I'm trying to really see his pathway, and don't give me this story about like, oh, Gen Zs are for him. No, give me a pathway. Show me how does he arrive at the 50+1. That's the reason why I ask, because this thing you have to have a pathway to success. Where is the pathway, Leon? I'm not against Maraga. I mean, I have no reason to be, but I have to see him win. Is he winning? I don't see it. Edu, go ahead.
Your question, like for me, for sure, like I'm not going that much because if up to now it doesn't have a party, which means like the team is having, I think that team that is having isn't good enough. By now they should have formed a party or maybe join a coalition. If they want him to work with Omtata, we should be seeing meeting between him and Omtata or his team and Omtata's team. Like this guy on my side, I said like he's so reluctant. Like it's like he's being pushed to this thing. And again, like I said that the last time, the politics isn't his thing. So he will just surrender on the way and maybe support someone, maybe Matiang'i, or maybe we'll join coalition with Omtata. Like let us wait and see. We will judge.
Yeah, the only challenge, yeah, Wanda will come in, and I'm glad to see George here.
No, I
The
just
only challenge,
have a question, Justice.
Go ahead.
This is a question to Justice and whoever is in here. Between Omtata and Maraga, whom do you consider more powerful?
Between Omtata and Maraga.
Exactly.
Maraga.
And therefore, that leaves us with one. Probably tunampatia sifa kubwa Omtata, and Omtata is nowhere near those the top guys that will be going for the top seat.
He is not, and in fact, he won't even make a good deputy. Please, the guys who are trying to make like Omtata to deputize Maraga, you're completely not even analyzing your politics correctly.
Exactly.
There's no other way. There's no way. It doesn't work that way.
So according
there's
to
absolutely
me,
there's nothing that Omtata is gonna bring in to complement Maraga.
True. Now, maybe the only person that we need to start looking at if we want to confirm or probably if you want to dig deeper into who is this person, who are these people working with Maraga, start looking or start learning the behavior and everything that these MPs are doing. One is Caleb Amisi. Be careful. I mean, start analyzing the politics of Caleb Amisi. It will lead you into who are these people working with Maraga.
That's interesting. That's a very interesting one. That's a very interesting one. Yo, Caleb Amisi, yeah. Maraga won't support Matiang'i. Otherwise, that would be completely a big mistake because then this is a person who disobeyed court orders and this is a chief justice. I mean, how would he even defend himself against, like, if he's going to support Matiang'i? He doesn't, he want to, like, it would look very bad on him. He would rather not do anything then. You know what I mean? Like, how do you support, how do you, one of the accusations against Matiang'i is disobeying court orders. How does a chief justice come and support Matiang'i? So supporting Matiang'i is out. Unless he does it for tribal reasons.
George, can you pick up the mic, please?
Unless he does it for tribal reasons and say that, oh, then I will support. I mean, other than that, I don't see why.
But justice, you should remember, like, there are no enemies in politics. Politics, like, you can wake up today, those guys that will get together. The next day, like, there are no enemies in politics. You never know what can happen.
This is not about enmity, it's about the rule of law. If the guy is coming into for purpose of constitutionalism and the rule of law and all that, that's what he's running on as David Maraga. How does he end up supporting somebody who outrightly disobeyed? I mean, I don't see it. Anyway, yeah, they're not enemies. They're not enemies. It's just like the guy disobeyed court.
Okay, what about if they just put their feelings aside and work towards the same agenda?
The guy even has an open case in court anyway. Shouldn't even be running. This Matiang'i guy. Sorry, Edu. Today I'm not very good for you guys. George, Karibu. maybe Maraga should take George as the running mate. But I was surprised that Matiang'i is that young, by the way. I was actually, he looked old. He looks old for that age. He's only 50 what? 52 or 54. Why does he look that old? George Jomo Karibu sana. Today we're having like a very light in-house conversation.
How you doing, Justice?
Good. Are you gonna be Maraga's running mate?
No, don't do politics. Keep me busy.
You are one of our best political analysts in here.
Yeah, I can think for them, but I actually run and go through all that headache. It's too much. You know how it is. I find it politics presenting Kenyans certain kind of man or woman. But yeah, it's a little bit of a tough one. You're Maraga guy. Sorry?
Yeah, but as a Maraga guy, you're not a Maraga guy. I think you are Matiang'i. As
Not yet. We haven't been told where to put our money. We're waiting.
I know where I want. Do you know where the money is gonna go? The Mount Kenya money is going for Matiang'i.
Not yet. We're waiting.
Because Maraga is gonna jail all the crooks. So nobody's gonna allow Maraga to run.
We're waiting. We're waiting for Uhuru.
I knew that. I knew that was coming actually. But Uhuru is gonna go for Matiang'i. But go ahead, make your submission. Karibu sana. I think Uhuru is gonna go for Matiang'i. Ndio fresh Freddy hapa. Go ahead, George. Aya, kwani hao watu wa Mount Kenya wamemtoa? Aya. I thought Leo,
Yeah, sio mi nimemtoa.
but I'm
George
really
nimekutumia mic.
I'm curious. I'm curious on who you're gonna can one of these guys pick a woman as a running mate? Don't we have like
Which woman?
like Annie Guru?
Acha hizo justice bwana, tafuta maziwa,
What?
tafuta maziwa. You just said Anne Waiguru.
I'm looking
No,
for a
man.
pathway.
No,
I'm
no,
looking for a pathway.
not Anne, man. Not Anne. No, no. No justice.
You,
But
you know what you need.
that
You
would
know
be
what you need to think. Even
that
as you make a submission, I want you to start looking at those people who are serving their second term as governors. I want to start analyzing those people because they want to go for something bigger than just being governor. Anyway, go ahead, George. Kwani George amepotea tena? Is this
George, we can't hear you.
is the space being compromised?
No, I don't think so. Because I can hear you. Maybe George just maybe he has a phone call.
He's probably traveling. So Wanda amekataa my anyway guru.
Wanda, nilikwambia acha Wanda aongee Kiswahili. Kiswahili kitukuzwe. Ticha Wanda.
To be sincere, ukimwangalia Waiguru, look at Waiguru and look into our politics and where the national politics are heading. The same way tunakubaliana kwamba Ruto anajua ameshapoteza kura za Mount Kenya. Sasa kama Waiguru anachukuliwa kama deputy, atakuwa ni deputy wa Matiang'i ama deputy wa nani? Na if Waiguru mnamsema ama tunamfikiria kwamba anaweza akawa deputy wa Matiang'i, then I want you to bring in the Omnyoro team and imagine the relationship that those guys are having. The Omnyoro team and the Waiguru as a person. Do you as a team struggle, do everything, build everything, then you just go and bring someone and position this person? Therefore, from that ground alone, I don't see where Waiguru, I don't see where should be coming in from. Because one, if you go the Ruto team, then you realize these guys will prefer watafute running mate kutoka a different region for the reasons wamepoteza kura za upande huo, so they will struggle a lot to even sell the person and convince that team to even give them a fraction of votes from their region or from that section. Therefore, Ruto going for Waiguru as a candidate, it's a no. The Matiang'i team that is already a team in the Omnyoro quarter, they cannot pick Waiguru, who is a no one in this mix-up or in these formations. Sasa, unless you're so powerful, you bring in quite a lot. Waje wakubembeleze, wakuambie sasa njoo kuja kwenye timu yetu, tutakupa nafasi fulani. But now, Waiguru is not that powerful ili abembelezwe apatiwe hiyo position. Therefore, to me, unless Waiguru, to me, in fact, I don't see she will even vie for any seat. She will not. She'll only be
Matiang'i Peter Kenneth.
No, forget. Kind of justice today, what you are eating or drinking is not good. You need to change what.
Justice.
Oh my God.
Justice.
How do you just say Peter? Huh?
Matiang'i Kalonzo.
Like, where is Peter Kenneth coming from?
Because we need the money from Muranga. We need the money from Muranga.
It's not about money. It's about the aura, what I mean, your influence. What are you bringing on table in terms of votes,
Do you
terms
know?
of moving
Remember,
crowds?
remember, it was actually among the top contenders in the last election. I don't think you know that.
As a president or as what candidate?
As a deputy for Baba. You guys, why are you laughing at my options today?
Peter
Deputy for
Kenneth. Peter Kenneth cannot convince anyone outside this a team of friends.
Sabina Chege.
Sabina Chege has lost
Oh
it.
hell no. Oh hell no. Oh
Sabina Chege
hell.
has lost it.
Marisa Wanda and George.
She has turned into, before she joined politics, she was acting. She was the vixen or whatever, akiwa ana support watu wakiimba anafanya. Now she's going back into that one. Yeye tu anacheza anafanya vitu vile. She has killed her politics. So she's not.
By the way, we went to the same campus, and she served in the Christian Union, in the same Christian Union that I did.
Yes.
Anyway,
I'm not saying anything. Probably we need to start
analyzing our.
Justice will soon start analyzing your politics and your. If you're in the same team with Sabina Chege and with what she's doing today, we are afraid that we might lose you into this thing.
I even made a flyer in the last election. I made a flyer between Baba and Sabina Chege. For real, for real. Like, I honestly thought she was going to be the running mate, and probably that would have even been better. Anyway, it's a story for another day. Karibu George. I know we lost you when you were making your submission.
Yeah, sorry about
Umenisikia all my wild
I know,
predictions
man.
today.
Like Sabina Chege, bro, come on.
Yeah, kama
Yeah.
angetaka kutunyanganya Jubilee, you would have considered.
No. Not in a million years, bro. Not in. It depends on how you want to attack it. As I was saying, Maraga is the favorite. But 2 years is a long time. Things change. At the moment, I think I've said this. He needs a deputy who's now, because he's not in politics. Maraga is not a politician. So he needs a running mate who's a politician. That's why I say for the amount of noise you want to make, someone like, that's the kind of guy you need.
I would like Sifuna.
Yeah, Sifuna can make a good deputy. Convincing power. A lot of people in terms of ones that are not looking ragged. That politics.
But then lawyer, isn't that an imbalance? Lawyer. I'm trying to figure out what.
No.
What is? No.
The key get to convince the numbers. So it doesn't matter what their profession, as long as one is saint and the other is fight competitor. Maraga is not going to go up on cars and something. Need somebody who can go up on cars and convince the people don't have to stand why. Yeah, Maraga is the favorite. Whether he'll go all the way, as somebody said, it's a long time. Yeah, yet to see. Yangi, when push comes to shove, everyone will forget about it. I said this election, if we get to it, it's going to be not value, not manifest. We're going to be about removing government. So yeah.
So why can Matiang'i deputize Kalonzo?
not big on this old school. They are a tough sell. So
Matiang is 54.
yeah, no, I mean the old school politics.
Oh,
Like
the Kalonzo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kalonzo, as I said before, these guys, the cabinet, not in, not lead, but their experience is very, very necessary. Very necessary. They could agree, all agree, and just one guy and one team, the win. But right now, because everything is scattered, we can't predict. Hard. That's what I think.
Alright, ndio huyo amekuja. So we have to give Martha Karua to be the prime cabinet secretary. You take that, Anton?
And we have to give Martha Karua what?
Prime cabinet secretary. So and then once we change the constitution, she becomes the prime minister. Whatever.
But you see, coalition are negotiated based on votes you bring, not gender.
But also experience. I mean, we
no, there's nothing about
Martha Karua didn't bring as much. It didn't even win in Nigishugu.
That's exactly what I'm
saying.
So it's not about experience. It's amount of votes you bring. It's the value you bring. You know, the currency of politics is votes. That's the number one currency. The number two currency is money itself. So you have to ask yourself, you know, and we are to combine sana. Elections will start properly, I think, in December, campaigns.
I think so.
So she really has to show up her vote block, because I don't think she'll be able to really garner money. And let me give you an example. You see, right now when Rigiji is in the US, you can see the campaign have literally died.
Yeah, I know.
He brings Karibu.
But what a coincidence that Rigiji and Martha Karua are both the same place. How was that planned or just a coincidence?
You see, Rigadi will not, he knows very well he might not be on the ballot as for now. So you must have a strategic ally that sits in cabinet. Okay? Because everyone else is sure they will be in cabinet. So Matiang'i is sure he'll be at the center of government. Kalonzo is sure he'll be at the center of government. He'll be the core of government if they win. Okay? And maybe now there will be another dispute between Natembeya and Eugene, but both will end up in cabinet. But regarding having served as deputy, cannot go down to anything else. You know, he wants to inherit what Raila Odinga is, in case he doesn't win. So he can wield a lot of power, but from outside. You see, today Raila Odinga is more influential than Musalia, by any measure. So that's how politics is. Okay?
I think Natembeya is going to go back for the second term.
Who?
Natembeya is going back to second term governor.
But you see, in cabinet, you make more money. Cabinet has more influence. If you look today between a cabinet minister and a governor, who has more influence? There's a cabinet minister. A governor has to lobby for his money and collect own revenue, which you have to send to central bank for government to disburse back to you. But a cabinet secretary not only enjoys the trappings of power, but you don't lobby for anything. You want money, it's in your account. You want, cabinet secretaries have proved to be extremely powerful people. It's only that government.
Can I interject with a question before it is lost? Now, before we lose that one, Natembeya is not interested with money. According to me, Natembeya with the Tawe movement is only interested in doing away with the Wetangula in Western politics. Therefore, it is two chances are the guy might want to go for the second shot in the gubernatorial so that he popularized the Tawe movement down there. Going for CS is empowering Wetangula in the Bungoma or the upper end of the Western region.
But you see, I'm borrowing from Natembeya's words. Wakati huu lazima tukue katikati ya serikali kwa meza ya serikali. Au kwa meza ya serikali ukiwa governor. You only
He says that
Okay.
in the name of kwa serikali as a community, not as an individual. And therefore, him as a community wants to have a bargaining power of the community. And according to him, having that region under Wetangula does not address or does not front the interest of the community kwenye hiyo meza.
Now,
So with him, he want to control that block, have that block in the government, so that they now negotiate in the sense of, this is what I'm bringing you. I'm
now,
getting you these numbers.
let me tell you, if Natembeya is given the cabinet secretary, interior, that and the governorship, he'll take the cabinet secretary slot. Why? He becomes
Yeah,
the third.
but then this is how it's gonna go. He will run for governor, Anthony. He will run for governor. But if the team that he's supporting wins, that's probably the Maraga
That's
team,
what I
then
am
maybe
saying.
can resign.
I'm only
Okay,
discussing
perfect.
if the team
I'm
wins.
with you.
He will
I'm with you.
negotiate for
Okay.
cabinet secretary of interior because it's the most powerful docket. Wachana na hii ya nani Wetangula ya Musalia. You know, the person who really enjoys power in cabinet is the interior. If you give Natembeya that and he goes back to Western as the cabinet secretary of interior, he not only has power in Bungoma where he's elected. I think it's Bungoma, right? But
It's in
Tanzania.
Tanzania. What does a cabinet secretary get? Now he gets to build his portfolio in the entire republic, and he can visit any region in Western Province. So now he moves from a regional governor to now a national figure. Yes. And that allows him to
and then having
anywhere.
Akona series of serikali.
Exactly. And he
Atakuwa na
marries
series
very
za
well
serikali.
into his profession as an administrator. Don't forget, Natembeya is a student of Mechoki. So Natembeya will follow in the footsteps of Mechoki to a T, which that's the same seat Mechoki used to enjoy. And when Mechoki was there, Natembeya was his PA. So Natembeya wants to be not, first of all, anataka consolidate Western yote bila vizingiti. And I can assure you, once they sit on that table, he will say, I will deliver Western. And if we win, I want to be a cabinet secretary of interior. Hiyo ingine mkitaka kupe, because he's under Nani's party, Eugene's party. Whatever Eugene's want, you give him. But I get interior. Eugene now will negotiate for something else. But Eugene doesn't come with a lot of finance. Nor does he come with a lot of...
Eugene goes to defense. Hapo ndio alikuwa.
Exactly. Mother Karua will most likely be what you had proposed. Why? Because there, the influence Rigathi will have and the inner workings of government should be almost at the heart of government. And Rigathi will have proved, if I can make Ruto a one-term president, I can make any of you a one-term president. I assure you the only threat...
That's a very scary thing to have.
So you will think twice before Muruke. Now, the only person I think might be giving Rigathi some sleepless nights is one candidate, Matiang'i. Why? Matiang'i can easily consolidate Western because Matiang'i is a replica of Rigathi and Ruto. He has a ujasiri. So he can easily replicate, he can easily take over Western from Natembeya, but equally, he can take a big chunk of a sizable chunk of Mount Kenya from Rigathi. Because anakubalika pande zote mbili. You get? So that's the only person who Rigathi is looking at and says, if these people choose him, then with him I have to almost negotiate as equals. But anyone else chosen to Rigathi Gachagua is a nobody. But Matiang'i comes with the
wacha nikasirishe Osea hapa. Osea, and then Baba ataruka Ruto, I endorse Matiang'i. Go ahead, Anthony. I just want these people to know that Baba is going to support Matiang'i.
Let me tell you, Matiang'i comes with some very big, big possibilities. One, he has the full blessings of Uhuru Kenyatta. So he also has Kenyatta money. Okay? Now, if Uhuru comes, he brings...
And the World Bank money.
Exactly. What does Uhuru have? Since Uhuru was the one who told us not to choose Ruto and we never listen, if Uhuru today wakes up and says, my people, I'm telling you, choose Matiang'i, we will forget Rigathi like blinking twice. So the Mount Kenya vote will split effectively hapo. Why? Because people have learned, have seen what not listening to Uhuru means. So that's the only person giving Uhuru Rigathi sleepless nights. As of now, it is only Matiang'i. The rest in that coalition, look, Rigathi leaves, campaigns die. Rigathi comes back, campaigns wake up. Because Rigathi is the money.
Huyu jamaa sasa mpaka hata anapiga simu kwa club ana kampeni hapo. Man, this guy, this is the worst. Kowino, jamaa wenu alimake mistake kubwa sana huyo jamaa anaitwa Ruto. He should never have impeached this guy.
This is politics and Ruto anajua unajua unasema hivyo and this was not rocket science. It was something that was going to happen. In fact, when Azimio was campaigning in Kiambu, Joe said that Ruto will dump Rigathi Gachagua after 2 years. Joe is not a prophet. Hizi vitu zilikuwa zishakuwa planned. Rigathi was just too blind to see it. Anyway, nimekuja kuuliza Anthony a question. Anthony, unasema natembea has Western. Which Western? Because kuna upper Western na lower Western, and I can tell you Busia and Kakamega is not moving away from Raila anytime soon. Natembea only as actually in Rift Valley because Trans Nzoia is in Rift Valley, and maybe Bungoma, of which Papa wa Roma. Msiunderrate Papa wa Roma when it comes to politics in Bungoma. Alipatia Ruto almost 80% of the votes huko Bungoma. So Papa wa Roma still has influence huko. Your hapa online is different because there are only like 2.2 million Kenyans on X. So ukipata tweets ya watu wawili wa Bungoma, it will make you think. Ukipata tweets za watu wawili ukipata tweets za watu 10 wa Bungoma, you will think the entire Bungoma has spoken. It's very different. So yes,
I agree with you because I know what you're saying is factual. Mimi siasa Western sijui. Nimeona tu ya Trans Nzoia kwa TV.
Lakini no, stick with that Bungoma for a little bit, Kowino. So Tim is going for governor in Bungoma against Baraza.
That is very interesting. Team akona track record yake maybe huko Westlands, which is good for him. Anaenda kuvai na ODM. Definitely people nimesikia watu wakifikiria tio ataenda na Ford Kenya. No, Team will go with ODM.
Why?
If ODM, because that is
but his brother has a party.
No, that is his home. His home has been ODM. Why has he never joined his brother's party all those years? Kila mtu anajua
because
ODM is
Westlands Ford Kenya would not win. That's the reason.
ODM is what floats his boat. Ukiona saa hii campaign strategy yake, kofia zake, tayari hiyo timu Wanyonyi UW yenyewe tayari shaekwa na rangi ya ODM. He will go with ODM, trust me. But that is what floats his vote. What will happen?
But
what I think will happen?
I think at Basi at lose.
In my assumption or in my political opinion, I think he has maybe a higher chance than Didmas. And I'm not underrating Didmas. Didmas amekuwa huko for a while, so pia si mtu mwenye unaweza kaa hapa chini uanze kusema hapana. Unajua people will use the killing saga maybe kusema hawezi, but Kenyans don't see those things when we get to the ballot. They don't care.
Okay. So before Julius comes in, I have now let me throw something to you, Kowino.
Yes.
So then who then does Weta campaign for?
Interesting. And Weta
are you seeing how bad that?
Yes, I know. Weta atakuwa na Ford Kenya yake. Then maybe they don't even
campaign against his brother.
Then he probably doesn't have a candidate to campaign for because
Didmas
is Ford Kenya. Yes, he did.
Yeah,
he did.
Is Ford Kenya.
Now what happens here? What happens is in the presidential election now. You see, like in 2022, people were told that unaweza vai maybe na ODM, you are under Azimio, unaweza vai na DMG ile ya ule wa Ukenya MP, then you are still in Azimio, unaweza vai na DAPK and you are still in Azimio. So the presidential candidate tuko na mmoja, but hizi zingine you can still vote an affiliate of that. Again,
No,
Wait,
the only power.
just wait.
Okay, go ahead.
Just wait. So
Yeah,
it
but
doesn't mean it
remember,
doesn't.
no, I want to throw you this to you. The only power that Weta has is at least winning something.
Listen,
So there's no other way.
listen. It doesn't matter if Weta even campaigns for Didmas. Weta campaigned for a different presidential candidate, and Wanyonyi campaigned for a different presidential candidate. So hawa watu shida yao si pesa, shida yao ni kushika tu hiyo power. Shida yao sio pesa. It doesn't mean it will not cost him anything if he doesn't support his brother. At the end of the day, they are brothers. Wanajua wakikuwa huko wanakutana wanaongea. When one was campaigning for Raila, one was campaigning for Ruto, did you ever hear them like wamekorofishana, wamepigana and all that? And they could even go to that Bungoma and campaign for their respective candidates. So what will matter is, will Raila back Ruto or not?
Team did not, for the record, team did not go to.
Yeah, I know, definitely. But you get
okay.
what I mean. You get what I mean.
I get
Yeah.
your
So
point.
the point.
Hata siasa za nyumbani zitaharibika.
The
Watasema mandu wenye
the point in this election will be, where does Raila put his cards? Does he put his cards behind Ruto? If he puts his cards behind Ruto, then wanaweza sema ni kama ile Azimio, just give an affiliate. Unaweza patia governor, but so long as akue ni wa mwenye ako kwa hiyo umbrella.
Then ODM itakuwa kwa Ruto that time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if ODM will be in Ruto's basket in that 2027, then you just vote for an affiliate party, so long as huyo mtu ako that umbrella, that alliance that will go. So it will be easy. Utapata Didmas ana campaign but bado anapigia Ruto debe, Wanyonyi ana campaign bado anapigia Ruto debe. In fact, that could help Ruto, could even do more good to Ruto than harm, because hawa watu wawili wana contest but they are all campaigning for one guy. It will lock Bungoma for him.
Perfect. Very good view here. Before Wanda, can you have Julius? Julius, I can see Matiang'i and Uhuru there. What message are you sending?
Yes. Can you hear me?
We can hear you very well.
I think, according to the Kenyan politics for now, there is a possibility that Raila Odinga will back up Fred Matiang'i, and most of the youth will also back up Fred Matiang'i. So the most senior person who I think he will be in Kenyan politics in 2027 mostly will be Fred Matiang'i. Thank you so much.
That was brief. So, okay.
Before you move, Justice, I'd like to ask.
No, I'm not moving.
Okay. I wanted to ask
what
him.
he said.
I wanted to ask him, like, what makes you think Matiang'i will be the most influential politician that time?
Kwa sababu unajua ukiangalia siasa sasa hii Kenya kwanza vijana wamekosa kazi, hawana kazi, wanataka kiongozi mchapa kazi, si watu wengine ambao hawana agenda, hawana plan. So kuna possibility kubwa sana utakuja kurealize hao vijana watasimama na huyu Matiang'i. Na ukiangalia hata kwa maandamano huko, vijana walikuwa na mdimandi sana ili hawawakilishe huko. Na hayo ukiangalia pati ya Mount Kenya kwa saa hii, Mount Kenya hawana mtu anaweza toa. Juu kama ni Gachagua hayuko sure kama atasimama kitu ya kwanza. Anaweza simama huko mbele, upate makezi zimewekwa juu yake, akuja azuiwe kusimama na serikali. Ukiangalia hii pande ingine ya Ukambani yenye iko na Kalonzo ananga do. So Kalonzo mambo na politics na pia chenye ataleta kwa table utakuja kupata pia hakuna. So Matiang'i kuna possibility kubwa sana Raila Odinga atakaa pale hivi angalie vile kanachezwa, aone ile table iko na Matiang'i itakuja kupata pia na yeye atoke huko kwa gava aingie hiyo side ingine. Sijui kama mnanipata.
Okay, Julius, I get your point. Now let me ask you in this direction. Nataka maybe to shift the card to turn to, let us flip the card and look at it this way. Your camp ya kina Matiang'i, we have to agree, the most influential politician in that opposition camp is Rigathi Gachagua. Take it or leave it. Umesema vizuri, is not going, he might not vie because of one or two, three reasons, ama court cases, whatever. Wanaweza mwekea hizo court cases ndio ikuwe like he was completely impeached, so he cannot do anything. But have you thought about it in this direction? What if William Ruto and the courts actually clears Rigathi Gachagua, and with the influence he has, I feel like, no, I'm the strongest candidate in this side, so I have to vie. Then if he vies, hiyo kambi sambaratike, upate Kalonzo nao kila mtu anaanza kumove. Matiangi amefeel the youth wanamtaka wasambaratike. What do you think about that?
Hiyo naweza kujibu kwa hilo.
So hata ikifanyika hivyo watakuja kurealize vijana hawatajaribu kupoteza kura zao, watarudia huyu Matiang'i tu na ndiye atakuja kuwasaidia, kwa sababu hii group ingine hii inageukanga tu asubuhi. Pata mtu kama Kalonzo amekuja akageuka akaenda ile mrengo ingine ya ina Laila huko. Laila naye akitoka huko akuja aseme ako na bunduki moja imebaki. So Matiang'i akuja abaki peke yake.
No, Julius and Kogwino, if Rigathi runs, he wins. Please,
No,
I can bet. I'm betting my money on that one. If Rigathi runs, but if he runs, I'm saying if he runs, he wins.
Justice, I'm telling you, Rigathi will not run. Like, take that to the bank.
Okay.
For me, I know if Rigathi wins, he has a chance of winning. But again, I think that if Rigathi runs, it gives Ruto a perfect opportunity to win, because Rigathi is a very good politician. He's a very good politician. But my only problem that I feel as messed up his politics is that he has established himself as someone who only considers his community first, and is after he was appointed the William Ruto running mate to the period after he won and slightly before his impeachment. If you gather all his speeches, you'll realize the much venom that he used to spread. So he is the best candidate. Like right now, he is the best candidate to beat William Ruto. But I feel like in fact, let me just say it. Utapata some communities watajitoa, and one of them will be the Luos. What I feel like, yes, we don't want William Ruto, but Rigathi Gachagua cannot be an option. Like, he's not an option. He will get Mount Kenya votes. We cannot lie. People will say, oh, Mount Kenya is winning, but he will get those votes. Trust me, he will get those votes. Because people will say Gen Z wamechanuka sijui nini, but people don't realize there's no voting block called Gen Z. Like I've always said here, Justice. Kenyan voter ni Kenyan voter. Itafika wakati wa nini hata Raila akisema wengine waende huku, watu wanaenda hivyo. People will move. When that time comes, people will move the way they are told. People will not do like, we are tribeless. You will learn that it is very different. So what happens if Rigathi decides to run? Anthony, I want you to come in with this. What happens if Rigathi decides to run?
Now,
chances are he might not run. Chances are he will consider his cards, and he knows. And I agree with you when you say he's gonna make. He knows he can make someone a president.
Now, when Rigathi became within the first year of government, Rigathi knew Ruto is planning to impeach you. And that's the reason he started the Mulima campaign. Why? Because alikuwa amekaa na akaona, not many people know that Rigathi is a student of political science. He had already figured out what Raila is doing, and he had done the math. If I have almost 3 times the votes Raila has in Mount Kenya, all I needed to do is replicate another Raila Odinga. Why? Because age-wise, Raila is out. So there's going to be a vacuum there. There's going to be a vacuum in the position Raila Odinga holds. But there will never be a vacuum in the presidency. So even if you try to convince Raila to talk about Western, he can't and he will never. It is nowhere in his interest. When Rigathi was being interviewed, he said, I have studied Raila Odinga. He has been in government for 20 years, in every government for 20 years. I have something I can learn from ODM, and I'm going to learn it. What does that tell you? He never said William Ruto has also been in all those governments. It is more difficult to become a president, but it is very easy to become Raila Odinga and be in every government. So Rigathi said, instead of me competing for the presidency, where kila mtu anataka, let me concentrate on replacing Raila Odinga. How do I do that? I only need to consolidate my community, Regema vote. And that is the only thing Rigathi Gachagua is interested in. He's in the US today meeting Kikuyus only. Si ati ajui huko kuna Waria, si ati ajui huko kuna watu wa Western, anajua. But he knows if I can replicate Laira, I'll be in every successive government. That is Rigathi Gachagua's objective for now. Now, the presidency, hii munasema Gen Z, the Gen Z bloc. I'm involved in a campaign to activate the Gen Z vote. That campaign is 3 strategies. 1, we get the Gen Zs to register as voters, to get their IDs. 2, we get them to register as voters. 3, we do something called a generational campaign. We tell the Gen Zs, ule mtu utapigia kura sahi, usiwe fikiria atakuserve tu sahi. Jiulize, in the next 5 years, huyo mtu bado atakuwa na serve interest yako. So, Gen Zs it's very easy to unlock the Gen Z from the old traditional way of voting. The second block we are focusing on in that campaign is women. Why? Because as Gen Zs have been prosecuted, women are the ones who have suffered second. Why? When you bury a child, who suffers the most? Who's traumatized the most? It's a woman. When you beat a child in the streets, who's traumatized the most is a woman. So the new vote block that is going to be created in this coming general election, so help me God, is the Gen Z, the woman, the women, and the millennials. That vote block is what made Barack Obama president. That is the same vote block that if we effectively convince and teach, it is the vote block that now will transform Kenya. Not to save Kenya from Ruto, but it will transform how Kenyans vote. Why? Because Ruto has shown a president can affect the successive generation if he does the wrong implementations. A president today can kill the future generation when he's president. That is going to be the campaign. Is how do we convert this new vote block to vote, not thinking about now, but thinking 15 years from now. That is the campaign we are involved in. And that is where you are seeing there's of, let me not diverge much, but that is the campaign we're involved in. And that's how I joined Julius. Hapo ndio nasupportia Julius. Because one thing tumeona is that Gen Z wa Bungoma, out of 10, 3 think like Gen Z wa Nairobi. What I need to do is just increase the 3 to 5. I don't even want, if I get to 10, God is good. But if I can just get that number to 5, we shall have succeeded in tipping the poll or the barometer of elections to our side. And that is what we are focusing on. So, matrix munaona, if we succeed in what we are doing, there will be change. Gen Z's, millennials, and women will vote as one side. That one I can assure you. Corino, back to you.
Thank you, Anthony. I get your point. But mi nasemanga kwanza hii issue ya civic education. Unajua watu wa Nairobi tunakazanaga ati watu wa ushago wanahitaji civic education. I don't think. Watu wa Nairobi wanahitaji more civic education ndio wasiende hapo na watu kama akina Sakaja. Hao ndio wanavotingi in fact bad leaders kushinda hata watu wa ushago. Some people elected watu kama Matata who have like senior councils huko maushago. Wa Nairobi we end up with the people that anyway, Wanda.
Yes, sir. I'm seeing 2 people here as kingmakers, Raila and Gachagua. And with these 2 as kingmakers, I don't see them supporting one candidate or the same candidate. They'll move separate sides. I'm seeing Gachagua team supporting the candidate, the presidency of Matiang'i, deputized by Kalonzo. Matiang'i is more of a friend. He's too close. He's more of an ally to the Mount Kenyans compared to how Kalonzo is. Kalonzo is a friend there, but not the relationship of Kalonzo to the Mount Kenya and the relationship of Matiang'i to Mount Kenya. They more likely prefer the candidature of the presidency of Matiang'i than being deputized by Kalonzo. This is how I'll imagine Gachagua will front the presidency of Matiang'i, then push Kalonzo to deputize him. I know we have about 4 to 5 million of Mount Kenya votes. The Kisii region probably has 1 or 1 point something million votes. Gachagua will imagine, or Gachagua will use the 4 or 5 million votes in favor of pushing the agenda of Matiang'i. And therefore, they'll be coming in with about 5 to 6 million votes. So if you look at the 5 to 6 million votes, then you bring in the Kalonzo votes, then the team that is pushing for Matiang'i will be more powerful as compared to those that are pushing for the presidency of Kalonzo. Now, the same thing now, in that case now I'll only be having Matiang'i as a candidate, then I'll be having Ruto as the candidate, and probably Maraga as the candidate. My candidate remains Maraga, and I would wish that Maraga push to have these individuals in his team. Individuals in the name of Babu Owino, individuals in the name of Sifuna, individuals in the name of Natembea, though I don't know how possible is that one. Individuals in the name of Kinakale Boamisi and such. To me, Matiang'i is a better version, an improved version of Ruto, but not the solution that we want as a country. Maraga, to me, is the solution that it is a solution. The medicine that is on a disease that is ailing us. But now Kenyans prefers a politician to a political leader. That's the only challenge that Maraga team is having. Is more of a leader and not a politician. Kenyans loves politicians. Kenyans.
So is Maraga a Kibaki reincarnate?
To me, Maraga is a Kibaki. Kibaki was not a politician, but just a leader. It's the same case when you look at Maraga. He doesn't know so much of politics. Probably knows very little about politics, but he knows the challenges that we are facing, and he knows what is supposed to be done to address those challenges. But now the problem is Kenyans loves politicians. The problem that we have with Matiang'i as a candidate or as a president, Matiang'i, yes, is a leader, but the surrounding, the kitchen cabinet is full of politicians. So the politicians will have their say. These are person who will enter into MOUs, into treaties with these politicians. We are fronting you so that you do A, B, C, and D. We are putting you in so that you do ABC. Therefore, this person is not coming in as him. This person is coming in with so many politicians that are in his kitchen cabinet. So chances are, even if this guy wins today, the cabinet will not be his own making, but instead it will be a cabinet where you're given names. Make sure so and so is a cabinet, a CS in this docket, so and so is a CS in this docket, because he's not a candidate like him alone. He's a candidate of a certain quarter or certain individuals. So I land on this. Our politics in 2027, we will not get a president that we will vote for. I'm afraid that that's the truth. We will not get the candidate. We will not get the president that we will vote for. But instead, we will be given a president. Justice.
I want you to consider this as one of your propositions looks like it's an insult. How can Kalonzo deputize Matiang'i? That's a joke.
It will be. It will not. It's not what he will want or he may want, and maybe that makes can make now Kalonzo imagine that let me either join this other team or let me spoil this game. I mean, let me spoil the party. It's not something that he will easily embrace, but it's something that will be presented to him. Not once. I know Gachagua will not vie. He'll not be in that. He'll not. He'll not be
Can
on
Kalonzo go for speaker? Can Kalonzo go for
He
speaker?
can. He cannot. Kalonzo cannot. I mean, I think from. I mean, where Kalonzo is, the positioning that he is as per now, is the politics he has played, the roles he has served in the country. I mean, going for a speaker slot ni kujirudisha chini. So I doubt if he can even imagine that will be going for, will be given, or imagine that you're now getting you're getting into this meet so that we give you the position of a speaker. If I'm told this guy wanted that position, I'm sure this after Baba joined the Ruto government, I have a feeling huyu jamaa alipatiwa some 1 or 2, 3 offers, and the offers that were presented to him were not what he wanted. Probably he felt like that is downscaling, not growing in terms of, based on his stature. So I don't think he can go for any slot, not CS, not speaker, unless he's just a coach outside with a team. The same case with Baba, that is just outside there, but powerful. Very powerful. It's what that's the level that Kalonzo is as per now. Akuwe na MPs wake, akuwe na CSS wake. He just makes handshakes. He's in the government, but outside the government.
Wow. What's the name of the former LSK president? What's
Nelson Avi?
What's his name? Avi. Avi's in Maraga's team, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Justice, we have another politician, presidential candidate called Patrick Osoi. I think Patrick ashaikuja huko akasema
Yeah,
ameserve kwa military.
He's been in our space, but now he disappeared. The time he told us he was going to have a launch of something on Sunday, and we waited for it. And
You guys took him to Mariam kwa hii space ya Mariam, and then mukamwingilia kina Joji wakimwita Nganozia. What did you expect?
What are we talking about? I don't even remember that guy.
Do you remember him, George? Patrick Osoi.
Patrick Osoi is he served in the
Walimwita
military.
Nganozia. Eti Nganozia uko na father issues. Itaenda atafute baba yake.
No, I think there was also another question he was asked. He's not here, so we probably can't get answers from him. But he also served. He served in the as a contractor in the U.S. military. So the question was, he was being told that your allegiance is to another country, into a foreign country. I think that was the argument people were having. But anyway, we'll bring him back.
Just it seems Rwanda has put a lot of things into perspective. If you Maraga goes in, find it very hard to govern. Politicians would allow him. Said he's a political leader, a politician. Have a very hard time trying to. Doesn't involve the politician.
He can't even navigate. I keep telling the Gen Zs the same thing.
You won't be able to navigate. So then best choice we have right now then is Matiang'i, because the only one who probably be able to support us. So yeah, wonder man, that was a very good analysis how to look at things, put things in perspective. Yeah, the Wamunyoro is a factor. It's a factor, but it's a factor that can be negotiated. I think we vote will definitely Praga. ask me. But yeah, it's a bit complicated. We kind of need a little bit of both, a politician and the navigate. Yeah, Matiangi might bring it home.
Yeah, and then I think Wamnyoro's negotiation will be proved, because this is how Wamnyoro is gonna negotiate. He's gonna come in and tell, okay, Matiangi, we are making you president, but that's not something you can do with Maraga. But we make you president, but I want you to go compromise the judiciary and throw my case out, so that I'm able to run.
Yeah, man. Politics is about deals. Deals and negotiation.
So that's the bad deal. That's the bad deal, and that's the offer is gonna. And you know, Matiangi can cut deals. Maraga won't. You see,
And that will cause a huge problem.
it's really complicated. Now, Leol, you see how is it called the House of Cards? How the things work? Yeah, politics is complicated. Hmm?
Out of topic, I wanted to ask Leo whether she. That's it. Beef. I think the answer was very clear.
No, I didn't get the answer.
Oh, we're not going there.
I need you. Can you answer my question? Actually, I was asking you. I think
Yeah.
my social studies teacher in primary said Kenyatta was in Kapenguria, which now we are learning that he was in the UK. So when he got out, baba ya kina Justice Raila ndo alikuwa kwe prime minister, akasema no, my friend has been in jail, let him take over. Kidogo tu ashikilie aonje, and then kuonja ikakuwa amekwamilia.
Yeah, but remember, Leo, what Sasi, one group was in the forest fighting, the other group lacks exception. That means we're working. So, Leo, in that scenario, of course, people will have beef with each other. You get me? You're working with people fighting, then we have a problem with it. Case in point, right now, the example of what's happening right now in the finding anybody who's working with government, people are not very, very friendly. Take that back 100. I think, and Risasi did actually, without, I don't know if he noticed, he actually explained very well why the. So it was part of looking at one community. Hey, guys, working. I think explain that history, which is more or less what I know as well. Apart from a few. Yeah, I think he did detail very well history, facts, and yeah. Anyway, it was out of topic. Justice, continue where you are, man.
No, you know, you're good. You guys, you're good. I think we will have Zida Milton, Dr. Idris, and Wallace. Milton, ulikuwa umepotea. I don't know. Something is kind of funny with the space today. People keep dropping. Dr. Idris, karibu, because Milton hata sijui kama ananisikia.
Well, thank you, Leon. Thank you, Justice. Thank you, the speakers and the listeners. I don't know the agenda of the day. Maybe
The agenda today, we have been trying to make kind of predictions in terms of who runs with who and what's their pathway to winning. people have tried to pair up, president, deputy, and what's the pathway to winning the presidency in 2027. So today's been like more of analyzing and trying to make predictions.
Okay, well, okay, let me start by saying this. First, there's a narrative that people are saying that the election, the presidential election, or the outcome of the presidential election is not going to be determined by the voters from the Mount Kenya region. I want to confirm to you guys that that is a lie. The determiner of the presidential election results, it majorly lies on the Mount Kenya region. So to me, what, according to my statistic, or according to my mathematics, is that the election, the presidential results is going to be determined by the votes that he garnered from the Mount Kenya region. This is because the region is rich of votes, around, I can say around 3 point something, above 3.5 million. So for a president to win an election, Mount Kenya region play a crucial and a critical way. So whoever is trying to ignore the impact of Mount Kenya region votes, it is unfortunately that the likelihood of him winning the results, the chances are low. Concerning the issue of alignment, or the political aspect of alignment of leaders, what I've said is this: the outcome of the presidential election is going to be determined by the number of votes someone will get from the region. Just a little bit. Let me hold on just a little bit.
Sure. Can you have Wallace? Karibu sana.
Okay, asante Mzalendo. I was catching up with this. I saw the heading, so I was waiting.
Yeah, we're still trying to see if we still actually have 18 million, or it's just a talk in town.
No, there's a lot of youth, and of course, any population most of the times, if they are going through the regular population growth, the young people tend to be more than the older ones because parents have more children than the couple. But only places like China are the ones that are under stress right now because of their one child policy for so many decades. But anyway, I think it's important to clarify that in 2027, the goal is not about voting blocks, as much as tribes are not going to disappear and go anywhere. But we need to realize that there are some old people who will not come out of their cocoons. But the question is, who is standing right now as supposedly a tribal kingpin, while the young generation, who are the majority, have shifted away from that playbook to the point where you've seen of recent when people started picking up names from each other's community. So the reality here is the goal for 2027 for any people that are Wazalendo is for Kenya to win, and I think I've tried to outline how that would work in the sense of, number one, the citizenry picking up more of their civic duty to ensure that if, number one, we are not corrupt as a people, we do not demand for bribes and campaign goodies, which is the old game plan. The old game plan was, number one, the country is already divided into tribal blocks. Number two, election times are just times for pouring money, because after you've got people biased into their ethnicities, now especially in homogeneous areas like Nyanza, Central, wherever it is, how do you win that election? Whoever pours the most money would win by virtue of those who are viable. Then they were also capable of even buying their own goons. That's why we have not been surprised to see goons in the streets. They have always been goons for hire during election time. So pulling them out during maandamano is not a big miracle. Now, the bad thing here being they have been coming out with the support of the police, which usually doesn't happen during election time. But the young people are in numbers. Some of them have not picked their IDs. I think Huduma Center, there was a time they were complaining about 150,000 are ready and collected in Huduma centers, but there's a key drive for people to get registered. I think what Kenyans need to decide is, and that's why this has been like a crossroads moment. Who do we want to become going forward? In the sense that if we want to play the tribal thing, then that's when your mindset will still tell you you can't go in without such and such a block. And that's talking like people will vote homogeneously. I mean, Kiambu, we didn't vote for Ruto. Many of us didn't vote for Ruto. And some of us are still convinced, I don't repeat too much, that the way he got in there was not the strictest way possible, which is why Supreme Court shut down their phones, and they shut down the rerun, those kind of things, yeah? But so the idea here is to say this: people are going to remain in their numbers, populations will remain in their numbers, but there's also like a challenge to Kenyans now to decide once and for all, are we going to get out of this mess by majority, or do we have to be dragged kicking and screaming by the young people? But the biggest insurance people can have is if you decide, forget about the presidential seat, because I don't know why Kenyans, it's a big seat, of course, but it's like now, if you're in Kenya, how does the president affect your ward life at the moment when he is this fake, when all they've been doing is stealing, you know? It means there's money coming to your county, but it's being eaten even from the ward level. Even from the ward level, there are projects that are just eating money. From your county level, where you should be able to, when you get sick, you don't rush to if you're not in Nairobi County, you don't look for Kenyatta Hospital, you go for a hospital in your county. So if people do not take the honors to say, we are going to change this thing from our ward rep to MP going up, and say that whoever wins presidency, that's just going to be up to fate. He has to hit all the qualifications in the sense of 25% votes in at least 24 or 25 of the counties, you know, the requirements as per constitution. Then that's the ball game that's going to happen. But if you are not careful and you fix this person who is closest to where you actually live, where you live and go home and go to work, then in the evening when you leave work, you go home to sleep, which is your ward, then that will be Kenyans to blame for any misery that goes forward. But it has to start with a break of the old framework, to be challenged by these young people, by the Gen Zs, that it's time to start voting for competence and meritocracy, and because that's what they've been demanding, saying, can this constitution be made to work? It's not been made to work because of lack of integrity in leadership and in most systems. And unfortunately, as I've stated before, we have to realize that even we, the people, we Wananchi, have played a big role in making the mess that has been, that we are now, we made our bed and we have been lying in it. We are trying to get out of it, but there'll be a minority who still see things the old way. You can't stop that. and there are some people who will still vote tribally. You can't stop that from happening. The goal needs to be the people who are truly saying it's time to break with the past. We change, we the people, we change the way we are thinking when we are voting. Those are the people who need to make sure they really coalesce properly. And that will be the only hope for this country. But old mindsets, you can't stop people from thinking the old way. And they have a right to do that. Every man has a right to his opinion. Now the question is, what facts do we want to create going forward? So let me land at that even as I catch up with what other people are chipping in, then we can proceed with the conversation. Thank you.
Thank you. We have
Yes, let me say hi to Faisal.
Hello. So mimi nataka jaribu kuangalia vile vijana wamejaribu kujiunganisha kwa pamoja, hawatakubali kugawanyishwa kwa misingi ya kisiasa tena. Lakini kuna kitu sitakubaliana naye na imesemwa na Dr. Idris ati the Mount Kenya will determine the president of Kenya. Kwa sababu ukiangalia saa hii hapo mlimani ni serikali ni ile tu tunajua. Inaweza waletea ile kitu inaitwa divide and rule method. Waende wapeleke maproject pale kwa mlima, wasimamishe watu kama wawili watatu ili wagawe hizo votes. Na wakifanya hivyo, already mlima itakuwa imepoteza kura yake. So kwa vijana tu, ni vijana tu wajiunganishe pamoja, wakubali kuchukua kura, si kusema tu one term bila kura. Na wakisimama tu pamoja na waseme wakati wa ukabila umeisha, tutaweza kupata mwelekeo mwingine wa kitaifa mpya. Lakini wasipochukua kura na waendelee tu kupiga duru huku mitaani one term, huyu jamaa anaweza rudi hapo. But what we want for now is to bring a new regime which will deal with the problem of Kenyans. Thank you very much.
right, George.
Yes, Justice. I wanted to throw something because
Go ahead.
Because hearing this thing of someone's hearing this voting and 2027, all that. I'm understanding that part. I'm hearing the part of Maraga and Yangi, all these things, but an issue process. Again, when you look at voting election, justice, we have no control over anything. We don't control the ballot papers. We have no idea who's the person who's going to get the contract side of things. Polling, what they call the returning officers, no control over. See, you know what I mean? How confident are you the process of election deliver the looking? That's and yesterday Ibrahim Traore proved me 100% right. He dissolved his IBC and fired him. Said, I'm doing this because their IBC version of the gateway, foreign interference, corruption, just dissolved them. So prove me right. You guys might say, yeah, going to even the issue don't no say. Issuing of voter the register itself, no idea what's off and on, and things have been cleaned up and others have been, don't know. Even as we talk about process itself is worrying me a lot. So I just wanted to hear what your thoughts on
Yeah, that's a very that's actually a very big one because I remember one of these friend of ours here was telling us the issue of the ghost voters and all that kind of stuff. And he actually raised a question that I've also raised before. KPMG in the last election, remember they did the audit and obviously identified, was it 1.18 million voters that had actually either died or whatever, but then the IBC declined to remove them from the register because they were like running out of time, blah, blah, blah. That was like just a whole lot of things. So I think what is needed is a complete audit of either all the way from the system to the register and all that ahead of time. So that there's a way of cleaning that up, and shouldn't be very, as expensive as we try to pay a lot of things. So I don't think they're going to deliver credible elections, because if you look, when I looked at the current commissioners that have been sworn into office, I felt like they were strategically and carefully selected to be there, in a way that you look at this one is affiliated to, this one is affiliated to the point that I'm like, okay, we need an overwhelming turnout, and that overwhelming turnout also has to be like a margin like the one of Kibaki. You know, how Kibaki won, to the point that there's no other way but to just declare the winner. The other bigger problem is about the issue you mentioned about returning officers. Obviously, it's a big mess. Those of you who are in the, if I give an example of a polling station called the primary school called Bomorito, where I did go one time in the last election. What was funny is that one person, the returning officer or whatever who were there, had people assisting multiple people. The way it's required is that you can be assisted, but only one, you can assist one person and then another one can come and assist. But there was one gentleman that I observed myself, he was assisting almost 40, 50 people. Ye kazi yake ako hapo tu kuwaleta, huyu anahitaji kusaidiwa kuvote. And then, so that kind of system is that the level of integrity that even our own people who are conducting elections have is such a complicated. And the people there, they knew, the returning officers know that they're not supposed to allow them to do that, but they had been compromised. Some of us had to raise gender. So what I'm hoping is that to beat that, it's about the turnout. But so far, we don't have. I personally don't think there's so much confidence in the way we conduct our affairs, generally speaking. I don't know if that probably